The 2-2 coming now to Baker from Jordan Bate. And that is strike three, looking to Maddie Baker for the first out here in the top of the first. The lineup today for the Buffaloes is as follows. Maddie Baker, the shortstop, will be leading off. At the plate now is Briarly Avina. She'll be followed by Amber Lujan. Then Peyton Hammond will be batting fourth. Emma Jackson fifth. Blake Hervot sixth. Jenna Goins will be the designated player, batting sixth. That pitch is fouled off by Avina, bringing the count to 0-1. Batting seventh is Jenna Goins, the designated player. Batting eighth will be McKenna Baker. And batting ninth will be the second baseman, Mercy Duraika. And they will have the tough task of facing the Lady Dons ace, Jordan Bate. Bate with the strikeout to the leadoff hitter looking Maddie Baker. That pitch upstairs, bringing the count to 1-1 on Avina now. And a ball upstairs will bring the count to 2-1 on Avina. And a swing and a miss will bring the count even to 2-2 now. The pitcher today, Bate, is the ace of the staff for this Dons team in 16 appearances. She is 13-0 with a 1.25 ERA. She has pitched 7 strikeouts on the season and has 4 no-hitters, including a no-hitter earlier in this playoffs against the Canyon View Falcons, and that is strike 3 for out number 2 here in the top of the first. Bate on the season, by far the most used pitcher, pitching 78 and a third innings, giving up only 14 earned runs while striking out 128 batters to go along with 9 walks. And the hitter at the plate will be the 3-hitter in this Buffaloes lineup, Amber Lujan. Lujan is the left fielder for this Buffaloes team, as she takes that pitch inside for ball 1. And that pitch is just outside, bringing the count to 2-0. Both of these teams are surprised to be in this situation today. Coming into the year, the top 2 teams in the state of Utah entering this tournament. Not just including 5A and 6A, they are the number 1 and number 2 teams in the entire state of Utah here in the 4A, but also in the state. Spanish Fork number 16 in the nation right now in the excellent 25 rankings, having won 3 straight national championships. Started off this tournament strong, beating the Canyon View Falcons 18-1, as that pitch is fouled back, bringing the count to 2-2. Then beating the Ridgeline Riverhawks 10-2 before falling yesterday in a surprise defeat 2-1 to Cedar City, dropping them into the losers bracket. But the Dons bouncing back nicely this morning with a 12-0 win in 5 innings over the Desert Hills Thunder, as that pitch is fouled back, bringing the count to 2-2. Tooele on the flip side of things also having a very impressive year. 26, 2-1, the one tie, but 26-2 overall basically on the year. Very, very impressive record from this Buffalo squad, as they are a fellow 1 seed in this tournament. Both of them surprised to be here. Tooele winning the game earlier today against Lehigh by a final score of 8-3 in that losers bracket game. Tooele won their opener 10-0 over Logan. Then they beat Desert Hills 10-4 before falling yesterday afternoon to another fellow 1 seed, Bear River, 8-4. But like I said, a nice bounce back win for the Buffaloes earlier today, winning 8-3 over the Lehigh Pioneers. And that pitch is fouled back, as the count will stay even at 2-2 on Amber Lujan. The winner of this game will advance to tomorrow, where we will have another game live here on SF17 should Spanish Fork advance. The winner of this one will play the loser of Cedar City Bear River. The winner of the Cedar City Bear River game will move into that championship bracket, with the winner of this one playing the loser of that one tomorrow morning for a shot to go to the championship. And that pitch is up, bringing the count even at 3-2 on Lujan. Lujan, nice patient approach here at the plate, working the count full on Bate. Bate, as I mentioned earlier, a very impressive 1.25 ERA, and that ball is slapped over to the left side for a base hit that will get by the shortstop, Gabby Beckstrom, as that ball was absolutely smoked over there. A 2-out single for Lujan here in the top of the first. And that will bring up the very dangerous Buffalo's third baseman, Peyton Hammond.
Now up for Tooele, number 6, Peyton Hammond.
Peyton Hammond on the year is a .514 hitter with 9 home runs, leading this Tooele team. The most dangerous hitter on this team, and you got to be careful to keep her in the park, as that ball is absolutely smashed out to left field and deep, but it'll come up just short, and a nice catch out there by Trinity Benson. And the Lady Dons dodge a bullet here in the top of the first. No runs on 1 hit, 1 runner left on base. And as we head now to the bottom of the first, it's Spanish Fork Don 0, Buffalo 0. And we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's game as we head to the bottom half: the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen Wise, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and 2 Jacks Pizza. Well, after a strong start for the Dons in the top of the first in this battle of the top 2 teams in the state of Utah among all Utah softball teams at any level, the Dons bats will get a chance to improve on their showing this morning, which was a dominant effort, 3 home runs hit, a 12-1 win by run rule after 5 innings over the Desert Hills Thunder. And the lineup for the Dons today will be as follows. Leading off for the Dons will be the third baseman, Mallory Barber, followed by the shortstop, Gabby Beckstrom. Then the pitcher, Jordan Bate, will bat third. Briley Rudd, the catcher, will bat fourth in the cleanup hole. Bate and Rudd, that dangerous 3-4 combo. And then Aislinn Sharp, the junior second baseman, will bat fifth. Lindsey Smith, the right fielder, will bat sixth. Murray Condi will bat seventh. Amanda Mitchell eighth. And Trinity Benson will round out the lineup against the pitcher for the Buffaloes today, which will be Atlin Johnson. Atlin, a very dangerous pitcher for this Buffaloes team so far this year, will have a tough lineup to face, as Barber, Beckstrom, and Bate will be the first 3 hitters today. Johnson on the year is the most used pitcher for this Buffalo staff, as that pitch is fouled off to the right side, bringing the count to 0-1. Johnson has 21 appearances on the year. To put that into perspective, the next most on the team is 10, and following that is 2. So really only 2 pitchers used on this staff. Johnston, a freshman, the ace, a really impressive story for this freshman who it is rare to see get so much playing time for a freshman, but she has earned every bit of it, as that pitch is inside, bringing the count to 1-1. Johnston on the year in 21 appearances has a 1.68 ERA and a 4-0 record, as that pitch is low for ball 2. She has also thrown 91 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 22 earned runs while striking out 151 batters and only walking 30. As that pitch catches the corner to bring the count even at 2-2 on Barber. Johnson, those 151 strikeouts to 30 walks, is a little better than 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, a very impressive number. As that pitch is inside, and it clips Barber, and she will head down to first, just catching her on the foot. And that is a leadoff base runner for the Dons here in the bottom of the first. And that will bring up the senior shortstop, Gabby Beckstrom.
Next up, number 17, Gabby Beckstrom.
Beckstrom on the year is a .562 hitter with 41 hits. Does a really good job of setting the table for the big bats of Bate and Rudd that will be coming up next. And a leadoff strike to Beckstrom here. Atlin Johnson doing a nice job of working ahead on this batter. As that pitch is low and in the dirt, and that will allow Barber to move over to second base on the wild pitch. And the Dons quickly have a runner in scoring position here in the bottom half. It is a beautiful day at the ballpark here at Don Andrews Field. Don Andrews Field, home of the Lady Dons here in Spanish Fork, as that bunt is fouled back. The bunt attempt off the bat of Beckstrom will bring the count even. Will bring the count to 1-2 now on Beckstrom. And that pitch is driven up the middle, and a nice play by the second baseman, Mercy Deraika, ranging back to her right and catching that ball for the first out of the inning here in the bottom of the first. Barber will stay on second. Beckstrom recording the out, and that will bring up the senior pitcher, Jordan Bate.
Number 2, pitcher Jordan Bate.
And strike one to Bate there. As that pitch is low and outside, bringing the count to 1-1. The defensive orientation for the Buffaloes today, from left to right in the outfield, will be Amber Lujan in left, Brearley Avina in center, and McKenna Baker in right. As that pitch catches the corner, bringing the count to 1-2 now. And then on the infield from left to right, Peyton Hammond will be playing third, Maddie Baker at short, Mercy Deraika, as we saw a moment ago, playing second with a nice catch over there to retire Beckstrom. As that pitch is swung on for strike 3, but she will reach first base, and on a wild throw into the outfield, that will allow Mallory Barber to come in and score. So a little bit of a lucky break for the Buffaloes. A lucky break for the Dons, as they are able to score a run on the strikeout there. Barber coming all the way in from second. You expect her to be able to move over to third on that, but with that being strike 3, a little bit of a bad swing there by Bate, but able to reach on the strikeout. Bate on first now, Mallory Barber in to score, and the Dons are up 1-0 here already in the bottom of the first inning.
Next batter, number 10, catcher Briley Rudd.
And Briley Rudd, the junior catcher, at the plate now for the Lady Dons. As she takes the ball one low, and that gets by the catcher as well. And that will allow Bate to be able to move over to second. And a little bit of sloppy play by the Buffaloes here early in this one, allowing runners to move up. As Blake Hervot, the catcher for Tooele, unable to make that play, as I was mentioning, going around the defense. The first baseman for the Buffaloes today is Emma Jackson, and then behind the plate will be Blake Hervot with Atlin Johnson on the mound. So that is the defensive orientation for the Buffaloes in today's game, as that is a beautiful strike on the inside corner to Rudd to start off this at bat. The 1-1 coming now to Rudd, with Bate on second. 1 run already coming in to score this inning. And a swing and a miss there, as Rudd falls behind quickly, 1-2. Mallory Barber getting hit by a pitch to lead off this inning, able to move over to second on the wild pitch and come around to score on another wild pitch and the strikeout. Bate striking out, but able to reach on the play. They threw the ball over into right field, trying to throw her out at first, and that allowed Barber to come around and score as that pitch is fouled off the bat of Rudd, and that will keep the count at 1-2 now. And that pitch is fouled off to the right side. And that ball is skied over to the right side, and the second baseman camps under it. And a nice play over there by Mercy Duraika, her second put out of the inning. And there are 2 outs now here in the bottom of the first. And with 2 outs now, Jordan Bate on second base, still 1 run already in. And the junior second baseman, Aislinn Sharp, stepping up to the plate. And she swings and misses on the fastball, as once again, a nice job by Atlin Johnson getting ahead early. And that pitch is up and away, bringing the count to 1-1 now. Aislinn, one of the many junior starters on the roster today, as she takes that for a strike, and that means that next year the Dons Lady Dons have a promising future, as well as Rudd, Sharp, Rudd who just batted a junior, Sharp now batting a junior, and the next 3 hitters, Smith, Condi, and Mitchell, all juniors as well, followed by a freshman, Benson. So 6 of the 9 players in this lineup will be returning. The top of the lineup will be missed, as the 1, 2, 3 hitters of Barber, Beckstrom, and Bate are all seniors and provide great leadership for this team, but you expect players like Aislinn Sharp to step up next year and really fill that void, as the count is still 1-2 on Sharp now, after she fouled that last one back. And the ball outside there, as the count is 2-2 now to Sharp. Sharp had a great game in the opener today, going 3 for 3 with a big 2-run homer in the 5th. And that is strike 3, looking to Sharp, the second strikeout of the inning for the Buffaloes pitcher Atlin Johnson. And that will end this first inning, but not before the Dons score 1 run on no hits, 1 runner left on base. And as we head to the second now, 1-0 Dons here on SF-17.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
And welcome back here on SF-17 as we head to the top of the second in this elimination game here in the 2018 4A Utah High School State Softball Tournament, in a battle of the top 2 teams in the state of Utah, as the Lady Dons face off against the Tooele Buffaloes. The Buffaloes coming into today's game with a record of 26-2-1. Our Dons countering with a record of 25-2, so 51 wins this year from these 2 teams combined. And they have been 2 dominant forces. And it was just a matter of time before they met up in this state tournament. Surprisingly, not in the championship game, but in this elimination game here, as that pitch is strike 1 to the 5 hitter on this Tooele Buffaloes lineup, number 17, the first baseman, Emma Jackson. The 0-1 Coming now to Emma. And that pitch is up, and that will bring the count to 1-1 now. And a swing and a miss by Jackson will bring the count to 1-2. The Buffaloes winning 8-3 earlier today over the Lehigh Pioneers, as I mentioned, jumping out to a quick 8-1 lead before giving up 2 runs in the 6th inning and holding on to win 8-3 in 7. And a swing and a miss on the rise ball, and that is the 3rd strikeout today for Jordan Bate. Really seems to have all of her pitches working for her, and that is a leadoff out here in the top of the 2nd for the Buffaloes.
Next batter, number 9, catcher Blake Hervat.
And the catcher, Blake Hervat, now stepping up to the plate. And she takes a leadoff fastball for strike 1. Hervat struggled a little bit in the bottom of the 1st inning, blocking balls behind the plate, allowing multiple wild pitches, enabling the Dons to be able to move up and eventually score that run, as that pitch is fouled back, bringing the count to 0-2 now on Hervat. The 0-2 pitch now coming to Hervat, and that is a ball upstairs, bringing the count to 1-2 now. Hervat on the year in 27 games played is a .359 hitter with 23 hits and 28 RBIs, so a great hit to RBI ratio. And that is strike 3 looking, and back-to-back Ks here for Jordan Bate here in the top of the 2nd. And much like in the 1st inning, the first 2 batters of the inning go down swinging. 4 strikeouts now for Bate, and that will bring up the designated player, Jenna Gowns, excuse me. And that pitch is up for ball 1. The Dons defense hasn't had to do too much work today, but I'll take a moment to give you the defensive orientation for today's game. From left to right in the outfield will be Trinity Benson, McKay Condi, and Lindsey Smith out in right field, as that pitch is in there for strike 1, now bringing the count to 1-1. And on the infield, Mallory Barber at 3rd, Gabby Beckstrom at short, Aislinn Sharp at 2nd, and Amanda Mitchell over at 1st, as Goins swings through that to bring the count to 1-2. And on the mound for the Lady Dons today, as I've mentioned, Jordan Bate absolutely dominating, and a great backstop of Briley Rudd down there to help hold down the fort, as that pitch is up and inside, bringing the count to 2-2. And if Bate continues to pitch like this today, she might not need much defensive help behind her. Striking out 4 of the 6 batters so far, and that is another strikeout as she strikes out the side for her 5th strikeout today. In a 1-2-3 inning for the Lady Dons in the top of the 2nd. No runs on no hits, 3 strikeouts. And as we head now to the bottom of the 2nd, it is 1-0 Lady Dons as they come back up to the plate here on SF17. And we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's game as we head now to the bottom half. The Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen Wise, Attorneys at Law, State Farm Lance Wilson, MVP Sports, Sporting Goods for all seasons, and 2 Jack's Pizza. And as we head now to the bottom of the 1st, Atlin Johnson will look to have a bounce-back inning here after giving up 1 in the bottom of the 1st inning. And she will deal with the 6, 7, 8, and 9 hitters for today in this Dons lineup in this afternoon game of Lindsey Smith, Murray Condi, Amanda Mitchell, and then Trinity Benson. And as they finish up their warm-up tosses, Lindsey Smith is now stepping into the box, and both of these teams fighting to stay alive in this tournament, both winning their first 2 games before falling in the quarterfinals of the winners bracket, both bouncing back with wins earlier today to open up games in the losers bracket, with Tooele winning a 8-3 affair over the Lehigh Pioneers and the Lady Dons winning 12-0 over the Desert Hills Thunder in 5 innings via the run rule, as strike one on the fastball there is thrown to Lindsey Smith. And Lindsey fouls that one back, bringing the count to 0-2 now. As I mentioned earlier, the Tooele Buffaloes ace on the mound today, Atlin Johnson, has pitched quite well so far, as she strikes out Smith on the fastball upstairs for the first out of the inning and her third strikeout of the game. So lots of strikeouts from both pitchers today. 5 for Bate through the first 2 innings of work, and 3 so far for Atlin Johnson here, with 1 out in the bottom of the second, and a leadoff strike to the junior center fielder, Murray Condi. Condi up at the plate for her first time in this game today, as that pitch is low, bringing the count even to 1-1 now on Condi. Condi on the year a .385 hitter with 4 home runs and 21 RBIs. And that pitch is low and in the dirt, bringing the count to 2-1 on Condi. Beautiful day here at Don Andrews Field, home of the Lady Dons, and a very nice crowd for this 12 o'clock elimination game, as that pitch is low and in the dirt, bringing the count to 3-1. And Condi has worked herself into a nice count here, as she is able to work the walk there on 5 pitches. And that is a 1-out base runner here for the Lady Dons in the bottom of the second inning. The junior Amanda Mitchell, the first baseman, now at the plate for the first time today. Mitchell went 2 for 3 in the earlier game today with a single in the first and fourth innings. That pitch is fouled off to the right side for strike one on Mitchell. Nice effort over there by Emma Jackson, the Buffaloes' first baseman. Diving and getting a little dirty there, trying to catch a foul ball down the first base line, but it lands just beyond the reach of her outstretched arms. And a bunt attempt there, and a nice play by the pitcher, but she throws it out into right field, and that will allow both runners to move up. A tough play over there, as Emma Jackson unable to come up with the ball at first, and that will allow Murray Condi to move all the way over to third, and Mitchell to reach second on the single and the throwing error by the pitcher, Atlin Johnson. And the Dons are now in business here in the bottom of the second. Runners on second and third, and only 1 out. And again, a little bit of sloppy play by the Buffaloes here in the early going, allowing the Dons to get in a good situation here. And that is ball 1 low to the freshman left fielder, Trinity Benson. Trinity is the only underclassman starting for this Dons team today, and has been really the only underclassman to get serious, legitimate playing time over the course of this season, as she takes a strike there, bringing the count to 1-1. Really just shows you the confidence that they have in this young freshman. As she squares around a bunt and pulls back before taking strike 2. Trinity now in a 1-2 hole. On the year, Trinity is a .312 hitter with 5 hits and 7 runs scored. as she takes that pitch just inside for 2-2. The Buffaloes fans and also Atlin Johnson definitely wanted that call, but just a little on the inside to bring the count to 2-2 now on Benson. And a swing and a miss, a big strikeout there for Atlin Johnson as she is able to keep the runners on second and third as there are 2 outs now here in the bottom of the second. Second strikeout of the inning for Johnson and 4th strikeout of the game, but Mallory Barber, the leadoff hitter for this Lady Dons lineup, now at the plate, and a little bit of a tougher out. As that pitch is low and in the dirt to Barber, bringing the count to 1-0. Barber, the senior third baseman for this Lady Dons team, was hit by a pitch to lead off this game, reached second on a wild pitch, and came around to score on a wild pitch and a strikeout. Kind of an interesting situation there. Jordan Bates striking out. And that pitch will drop over the third baseman's head, and everyone will be safe. A big error over there by Peyton Hammond. What looked like a relatively routine flare is able to drop just over her head, and Barber will be able to reach first base safely. Condi comes in to score, and Mitchell moves over to third. So first and third now, and another run in to score here as it is 2-0 Lady Dons now in this bottom of the second inning, with Gabby Beckstrom, the senior shortstop, now coming to the plate.
Now batting number 17, Gabby.
And a pitch low, bringing the count to 1-0 now on Beckstrom. Beckstrom popped out to the second baseman, Mercy Duraika, back in the bottom of the first inning. As she takes strike one there, bringing the count to 1-1. A .562 hitter on the year with 41 hits, 28 RBIs, and a little pop as well with 7 home runs as she rips that one out into left center field, and that will score another run for the Lady Dons, and that will be a double. Their throw is coming home, and the ball is dropped, and she is safe at the plate as another run will come in to score. The ball easily getting to Blake Hervat, the catcher, in time, but she is unable to hold on to the ball, and that will allow Mallory Barber to score all the way from first base. A little bit of a gutsy call by head coach Don Andrews out there, as it looked like she was going to be out at the plate easily, but another sloppy play by this Buffaloes team allows Beckstrom to get all the way over to third, and 2 more runs to come in to score for the Lady Dons here as they now lead 4-0 here in the bottom of the second. And a pitch upstairs to Jordan Bate to lead off the count and bring that one to 1-0 now. On that last play, both Barber and Mitchell coming in to score. Condi, Mitchell, and Barber, the 3 to cross the plate so far this inning. Gabby Beckstrom on third as Jordan takes that one outside to bring the count to 1-1 now. And Blake Hervat, the catcher for Tooele, going out to try to calm down her pitcher, Atlin Johnson. And the difference in this game has really been the defensive side of things, the play of the catcher, Blake Hervat, allowing the run to score on wild pitches and pass balls in the first inning, and then unable to apply the tag there, allowing another run to come in to score here in the bottom of the second, as Bate now has a 1-1 count and 3 runs already across here. And a nice pitch there from Johnson will bring the count to 0-2 now. Bate in a little bit of a hole here. She can find a gap somewhere that'll bring in another run as she fouls that one back. Bate pitching very well out there on the mound so far and looking to help out her cause a little bit at the plate as well. A .634 hitter on the year with 19 homers. Good for second most on the team. And that is, that is a strike, but it is only strike 2. As the count is now 1-2. Oh, that is 3. They are correcting the situation. I thought that was strike 3, but they didn't signal that it was the end of the inning until the ump checked his count there, and After 2 innings now here on SF-17, it's 4-0 Dons over the Buffaloes, and we'll be back in a minute.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
And welcome back. And welcome back here on SF-17 as the Dons lead 4-0 now as we head to the top of the third inning. 3 runs coming across for the Dons in the inning off of 3 hits, a single by Mitchell, a single by Barber, and a triple off the bat of Beckstrom. The big blow in the inning allowing 2 more runs to come around and score. And a absolutely fantastic start for the Dons here in the early going as the Buffaloes now step up to the plate with the 8-9-1 hitters coming up of McKenna Baker, Mercy DeRica, and Maddie Baker. McKenna Baker with her first plate appearance today as that pitch is ball 1 just outside to Baker. The senior Baker, a .268 hitter on the year. Not a lot of power with 0 home runs, but she does have 2 doubles as she fouls that one back to bring the count even at 1-1. Baker with 11 hits and 11 RBIs. So very productive when she does get hits as she drives in an average of a run a hit, which is a very impressive ratio. And the pitch is popped up, and the second baseman, Aislinn Sharp, with the beautiful play over there, ranging over to her right and catching that ball just inside the first base line for the first out of the inning here in the top of the third. Baker did a nice job hitting that there, and it looked like it was going to drop just fair inside the line, but Aislinn Sharp ranged over a good 30 feet there, and on the run was able to make the catch for the first out of the inning here in the top of the third. And a bunt attempt foul off the bat of Mercy DeRica, the second baseman for this Buffaloes team. DeRica having a very nice day out in the field for the Buffaloes, making a couple nice defensive plays, and now she gets a chance to take her first hacks up at the plate. And a swing and a miss to DeRica, bringing the count to 0-2. Jordan Bate, very impressive here in the early going. In her first time through the lineup so far, she has 4 strikeouts and has only allowed 1 hit. As that pitch is swung on and missed for the 5th strikeout of the game. And another quick 1-2 here. Back-to-back outs in the third, and in every inning, the first 2 batters have been retired with relative ease. Back in the first inning, Lujan with the only hit today with a single, but other than that, it has been smooth sailing for Bates so far in this one. And a leadoff strike to the shortstop, Maddie Baker. Maddie Baker, one of the many strikeout victims the first time through the order. As I mentioned, 5 strikeouts so far for Bate. Baker striking out, looking to lead off the game as she fouls that one back, bringing the count to 0-2. Maddie Baker, a .455 hitter on the year. The 3rd best average of the starters on this Tooele team. As that pitch is well up and away. That one gets a little bit away from Jordan Bate as she smiles a little, realizing how much she let that one get away. Bringing the count to 1-2 now on Baker. And strike 3 looking on the outside corner. The second strikeout of the inning, and another quick 1-2-3 inning for the Lady Dons here in the top of the third, and Jordan Bate is absolutely dealing so far in this one. 6 strikeouts, 2 an inning And only one hit allowed as we head now to the bottom of the third. It is 4-0 Lady Dons over the Tooele Buffaloes. And we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's game. And the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen Wise, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and Two Jacks Pizza. And as we head now to the bottom of the third inning, the Lady Dons will be right back on the attack as their junior catcher, Briley Rudd, steps up to the plate. A very dangerous hitter. 20 home runs already on the year for Rudd. Good to lead the team, just one more than Jordan Bate. And Bate and Rudd a combined 0 for 3 so far in this one, so you would expect that would change. Rudd popping up to the second baseman. Back in the bottom of the first inning. She gets a chance to dig in for her second plate appearance here. And here at Don Andrews Field, we have a little nice cloud cover now as the sun has disappeared for the moment, but still an absolutely beautiful day here in this elimination game in the 2018 4A Utah High School State Softball Tournament. Our Lady Dons up 4-0 here in the bottom of the third, scoring 1 run in the bottom of the first and 3 runs in the bottom of the second as a leadoff strike is thrown to Rudd there. Adeline Johnson really needing a clean inning for the Buffaloes here as our Lady Dons look to extend what is already an impressive 4-0 lead as that pitch is low and in the dirt to Briley Rudd. As I mentioned a moment ago, Rudd on the year has 20 home runs, but she is not purely a power hitter. She also hits 582 on the year with 39 hits and has 49 RBIs. The count is now 1-2. So looking for her 50th RBI on the year. Currently second most RBIs on the team, trailing her fellow senior counterpart Jordan Bate, who is not only a menace behind at the plate, but has been dominant on the mound today as well, as that is a ball low and in the dirt to Rudd. And the 2-2 coming to Rudd here now in the bottom of the third. Nobody out. And she fouls that one back, as the count will now remain 2-2 on Rudd. Rudd went 1 for 3 earlier today with a double in the fourth inning, as she swings and misses on that for a strikeout. The first out of the inning for the Buffaloes here in the bottom of the third. And 6 strikeouts now for Atlin Johnson, the ace for this Tooele Buffalo staff.
14, Aislinn Sharp.
And at the plate now is Aislinn Sharp, the junior second baseman for the Lady Dons, who, like many of her fellow teammates today, struck out in her first plate appearance. That ball is ripped out into left field over the third baseman, Peyton Hammond's head, and that will be a base hit to get the offense going here for the Lady Dons in the bottom of the third. A one-out base hit for Aislinn Sharp as Lindsey Smith now steps up to the plate. Lindsey Smith did not play in the first game today, with Jordan Bate playing out in right field, with Bate moving over to the mound in this one. Lindsey Smith moving out to right, and Briley Young, the pitcher in the earlier game today, getting the game off in this one so far, as that pitch is low and in the dirt to Lindsey Smith. A strikeout victim back in the second. And that pitch is fouled back, bringing the count even at 1-1. 1 out and coming to Lindsey Smith. Aislinn Sharp is on first base. And a fastball right down the middle there for strike two. Lindsey Smith caught looking as she falls behind in the count here. And a swing and a miss on the changeup outside. And Atlin Johnson is able to get Lindsey Smith to chase, as that is the second strikeout of the inning here in the bottom of the third.
Tooele brings up number 3.
Johnson has been a master of the strikeout today. 2 strikeouts in the first, striking out the side in the second despite giving up 3 runs. 3 strikeouts dispersed in there, and a strikeout to Rudd and Smith with a sharp single in the middle so far of this inning. As Murray Condi, the junior center fielder, now steps to the plate and takes strike 1 before squaring around to bunt here as she falls behind 0-2 now. And again, Aitlin Johnson able to do a good job of getting ahead of another hitter here and get herself in another potential strikeout situation. Murray Condi looking to reach base again, but she swings wildly at a pitch well over her head to strike out to end the inning. And for the second consecutive inning, Atlin Johnson able to strike out the side. And as we head now to the top of the fourth here on SF-17, it is 4-0 Dons over the Buffaloes, and we'll be back in a minute.
Wild Mustangs. They're supposed to be one of the most gentle creatures in nature.
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these. That's why more people save money by combining their home and auto with State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
All participants, good luck in today's events. Remember to refuel.
And welcome back here in the top of the fourth at Don Andrews Field here in Spanish Fork. We have a heavyweight matchup between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Tooele Buffaloes in this one, as the #1 and #2 teams in the state are facing off here in this elimination game in the 2018 4A Utah High School State Softball Tournament. And it is our Lady Dons who have jumped out to a nice early lead here, 4-0, as we head now to the fourth, with 1 run coming in the bottom of the first, 3 more runs coming in the bottom of the second, and a little bit of sloppy play hurting the Buffaloes so far in this one, as Jordan Bate continues to deal strikes, as Brierly Avina, the center fielder for the Buffaloes, now at the plate, a strikeout victim back in the first. And the changeup drops in there for 0-2 now on Avina, as she quickly falls behind 0-2 to Bate. And that ball will be fouled off to the right side. Nice job by Avina, battling there to stay alive.
Come on, Rose, hit it!
And the ball just up and in brings the count to 1-2 now. This Buffaloes team, 39 home runs on the year coming into today. A .369 batting average and a .487 on-base percentage. So definitely a lot of offense as that ball is ripped out to center, and a diving catch made out there by Marie Condi. An absolutely spectacular play for the first out of the inning here. And Murray with a great jump on that ball, being able to dive and make the catch for the first out of the inning here in the top of the first. And again, the Buffaloes unable to get the big hit. And again, that ball is flied out to center. This one a much more standard play, as again, Murray Condi able to make the quick play here, and then it's back to black. Fly balls out to center field for 2 outs here to start the top of the 4th. And Jordan Bate working quickly here, getting quick outs, and no real threat so far today, as the first 2 hitters in every inning have been retired. Only 1 base runner today, coming on the base hit off the bat of Amber Lujan back in the first inning with 2 outs. Peyton Hammond then hit a fly ball out to left that was just a few feet short of being a 2-run homer that could have really shifted the momentum in this game, but instead the Dons have been all over this one, and almost an incredible diving catch by Mallory Barber over at third. And that will drop for a foul ball. She had to come a long ways for that one, and initially it looked like she was going to come up with it, but it just squirted out of her glove in the last minute. And that will bring the count to 1-1 now on Hammond here. And there will be a quick meeting out on the mound from the Lady Dons infielders, trying to give Barber a moment to shake it off after that dive. And Jordan Bates still in good shape here, as there are no runners on base with 2 quick outs here in the top of the 4th, and the Lady Dons already working themselves into a nice 4-0 advantage here. And that pitch is popped up over the shortstop Beckstrom's head, and that will drop for a base hit here for the Lady Dons in the top of the 4th inning. The second base hit of the game for the Buffaloes.
Next batting, number 17, first baseman Emma Jackson.
And the first baseman Emma Jackson at the plate now. Part of the first of 3 consecutive strikeouts back in the top of the 2nd, when Bate was absolutely dealing, and still the Buffaloes haven't been able to do much off her so far today. And we have a stolen base attempt here, and she is thrown out. Hammond easily out stealing, and that is going to be the end of the inning here. And just an absolute rally killer for the Buffaloes, as they were finally able to get a base runner. And Emma Jackson with not even an opportunity to drive in the run, as Hammond is caught stealing to end the inning. And in the top of the 4th inning, there are no runs on 1 hit, no runners left on base on the caught stealing. And as we head now to the bottom of the 4th, it is 4-0 Lady Dons. And we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's game: the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, McKell, Christiansen Wise, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, Sporting Goods for all seasons, and 2 Jacks Pizza. And as we head now to the bottom of the 4th inning, the Dons will be back at the plate, having scored 1 run in the first inning, 3 more in the second. The big hit coming off the bat, a triple from Gabby Beckstrom, allowing 2 runs to score. And it looks like we are going to have a delay here due to the dark clouds and rain looming in the forecast. Interesting that they're deciding to stop play, but I'm being told that there is lightning in the area at the moment. And so we will be having a we are having a 15-minute delay, it looks like. Both teams heading back to their dugouts right now, as the Dons are coming up to the plate here with Amanda Mitchell batting first, Trinity Benson, the freshman left fielder, batting second, and then Mallory Barber, the senior third baseman, will be batting third. But before we get to that point, it looks like we have a little bit of a delay here. Coach Don Andrews, the head coach of our Lady Dons, out on the field talking with his fellow coaches, as both teams have now gone to their respective dugouts. Maybe a little bit of a breather for this Buffaloes team, hoping to slow down this Spanish Fork Dawn's powerful offense. Like I mentioned a moment ago, it looks like we have some rain coming in the forecast. The sun fell behind the clouds a good 30, 40 minutes ago. And since then, the sun has disappeared and we will have a 15-minute delay. So stay tuned. We are going to take a break here. And we will have regular programming until we are back. So stay tuned. So hopefully in the next 15 to 20 minutes we'll be back. In the bottom of the fourth, it is 4-0 the Dons lead over the Buffaloes here on SF-17.
So easy.
Awesome.
So you just fork it out. And look at that, it's already like pasta.
Perfect.
So really that is super easy too. So while you're mixing the sauce, you can just throw that in the microwave.
And I know you brought some for us to try. I'm so excited to give it a try. So let me just grab those for us. So this is kind of how you plate it and present it, right? Okay, cool. I'm going to have to take a bite because, first of all, it smells so good, that sauce that you did. So yummy.
So there we go. See, just out of this half, I've got a whole bunch.
That's a lot.
That you can
do you
get out.
find that you have 5 kids, right?
I do have 5 kids.
So do you usually like one squash can feed your whole family?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because several of them won't take the squash.
Rachel, it's just really good.
I do like it. It's usually a favorite when I go to, and it's great for fall because it can be warm and filling, just kind of that. But it also it's healthy.
I love it.
So you don't feel yucky after you eat it.
I've never cooked with spaghetti squash, so I'm excited to do that with my family too.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome.
Much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
That's great. I know it's hard to know that a recipe is really tasty from a TV program, but let me tell you, even our crew of guys really like the Alfredo squash. Thumbs up. Next on BUL Spanish Fork, we'll meet with 2 social media gals and see how they keep their family ties strong.
At MLH Heating and Cooling, our success is defined by the trust and loyalty of our customers who wouldn't call anyone else.
For every job, residential or commercial, Matt and his team bring a reputation for expertise and integrity. If your furnace or air conditioner can be repaired, we'll repair it. MLH is a Tempstar and Bryant factory authorized dealer with more than 20 years experience. MLH Heating and Cooling. We specialize in lifelong, satisfied customers.
You've known us in your community for years. With our ever-expanding certified truck selection, we invite you to come see what a best-in-state used car dealership feels like. All our trucks have warranties available to purchase, and with our background in vehicle repairs, we know how to pick the right truck for you. Come down and test drive one of our many qualified pre-owned trucks today. I promise you won't regret it.
Welcome back. We want you to meet two wonderful ladies that have made it big in the social media world. Katie Oldham of the Beauty Bureau and Jenna Rammel with Jenna's Kitchen. Our discussion took us several places, but let's start with a 30-day challenge called Lean Into Love. So September, you did a Lean Into Love challenge with your followers. Can you tell me about, like, how did you think of doing that, or what kind of brought that about?
Yeah, so I moved this summer from California, and it was just a huge uprooting of our family, and I felt really disconnected from myself, from my regular schedule, my regular life. Even though I was coming home, Utah's home for me, it felt like I was a different person in a different place. And even still, when you move, you're just where am I going to the store? Where am I going to the gym? Who's going to be my babysitter? All these new things.
Normals.
Yeah, it is such a huge adjustment, and I just felt like I wasn't feeling very happy. And I knew that that was a choice that I could make myself. And so I chose to do this Lean Into Love challenge, and I wanted to create a space where women understood that it wasn't like you had to suddenly meditate for 8 hours a day and become yoga certified and eat gluten-free in order to have wellness. I really wanted to just do little things every day where women could be like, oh yeah, no, I can do that, And so they were small, simple challenges, like give a person a hug, or turn off your phone, or put your feet in the grass, or anything like that, just something to connect them to themselves and to their environment. One for me was sit around the dinner table. I feel like that's something that I've lost in being, as my business has picked up and as my kids are back in school and we have sports and all sorts of things, I've gotten really sort of bad, honestly, for lack of a better word, of making dinner for my family. And I really started to implement that in the last couple weeks. And I can see how that always makes me happy. Feeding people, having people over, things that I love about connection and food and how it brings us together. I feel like that was a huge one for me. Meditation is something that I always do, but it's always nice to realign and focus and make that a new focus for me. And I do that with my kids too. So it was nice to just have these little reminders every day of, oh yeah, I do this and I love this and I want to do it again and I want to be better at it.
What about you, Katie? What is something that you do with your children, to practice wellness, mindfulness, helping them feel connected to themselves?
I'm definitely not as good as Jenna is with this. When
you are too.
I think it was the first day of school, and she was like, well, because our kids go to the same school, she's like, I asked them this and this and this, and I was like, I would have never thought, but last year we started saying I'm an Oldham, and it's a chant that we chant in the car, and we just say I am brave, I am kind, I help others, and I never give up. And then at the end we wanted it to be and then it just says, most importantly, my family loves me no matter what. And that's what I want my kids to know. It doesn't matter if you aren't brave that day or if you aren't kind that day, we love you no matter what, and that the next day you can try again and be that person that you want to be, live with that intent.
Next, we talked about husbands giving support for their spouse's self-care. This is good for men and women alike. So ladies, what about men with self-care? I mean, it might not be as common to find them putting on makeup, but let's talk about that.
But the reason that I'm laughing is because my husband doesn't have to ask to take a shower. He just, it's work time, he can get up. My main responsibility is the kids. And although sometimes I do, I'm resentful of that. But I think what Jenna was saying was, what were you saying?
Well, I was just saying that, like, women in general they come from a place of guilt. They come from a place of shame. They come from a place of questioning their truth and that they're worthy of taking that time for themselves. Men in general just don't. They're just like, well, I have basic needs and I will fulfill them. Like, I need the shower, so I will get in the shower. I need to get to the gym, so I'll get to the gym. I need to go golfing with my buddies, so I'm going golfing with my buddies. And they're not making apologies for who they are, and women are constantly involved in this work of saying, is this right? Am I doing the right thing? And I think culturally, so much women wear this like invisible badge of honor, like, I don't work out and I don't work outside of the home, somehow. And I my kids are all I ever do, and go me, and really honestly go you. But I think there's this huge disconnect of coming and working through the universe in that way. I think our children really suffer, and then we continue to really pass this on to generations that we have to be so self-sacrificing in order to be good parents, and it's just not the truth.
So what are things your husbands might do to, like, encourage you to do those self-care practices that maybe women neglect?
Yeah, my husband is so good about, like, he totally takes boys' night, and I make that a point because he needs a release too, to like go have fun and not be like bogged down by the honey-do list that I always have for him when he gets home. But he's very good about allowing me that. But the first step to that is communicating with them, because he cannot read my mind. He can't assume that I need a girls' night or that I need 10 minutes to get ready, and he just needs to take care of the kids for 10 minutes. And although, like, we could get in a practice, like me just saying to him, hey babe, can you do the dishes? Or can you take this task off of my hands? Or can you watch the kids while I run up and put makeup on? Or whatever you want to do. Take a bath. Whatever fills your cup. All it takes is communication. Really, don't you think?
Yeah. And I as you were talking, I was thinking how frustrating it can be for women that they have to ask. But I think at just this point, having been married 12 years, I just have decided, like, that is actually just what he needs. Like, he doesn't see what needs to happen, and that's okay. Just yesterday, it was Sunday, and I was like, I'm going to the guest room far away where, like, the kids, I'm not telling them where I am, and I'm taking 2 hours to myself. And he was like, okay, and I think you just have to say out loud what it is that you need. And we have such a fear of that for some reason.
Spouses want to help each other. They want each other to be happy. So yeah, just communication is key when it comes to that.
And I know a big thing, like, for my husband is our time management, like allowing him time, like his gym time is kind of his self-care time.
Yeah.
So we have little kids, so we have to divide and conquer. So it's like, you go at this hour in the morning and I'll go at this hour in the morning. So kind of that give and take, I think, is important too.
Yeah.
In relationships, right?
Absolutely.
Having a simple plan to keep our family or loved ones close does wonders for our personal well-being. And just understanding that everyone is different in how we deal with emotional issues gives us more patience and tolerance. We're not done yet. Stay with us for more great ideas to help you be well Spanish Fork.
Doug Smith Spanish Fork is Utah's truck center. Can't decide between a Chevy or a Ram? Drive them both. Compare and then decide. Rugged Ram trucks, 1500s, heavy duties, four-wheel drives, Hemis, and the complete Chevy lineup, including diesels, all engine sizes, and cab options. Everyone qualifies for these offers. Drive and compare right here in your own backyard at Utah's Truck Center. Doug Smith Spanish Fork, just west of the freeway at 1341 North Main.
Hey, Doug.
A car gives you freedom. A new beginning. Room to grow. And in time, room to grow up. Your dream car evolves, and protecting it takes committed support. American Family Insurance.
Tim Shanto, American Family Insurance Agent, 690 North Main Street, Spanish Fork.
Welcome back to Be Well Spanish Fork. There are so many ways that we can work on improving our health and wellness, so we created what we call Video Vitamins. Personal coach Amy Gibby offers us several ways to relax and just let go.
Hi, this is Amy, and I have a tip for you. This is one of my favorite things that I do with my kids. Sometimes we'll be working in the kitchen getting dinner ready or doing chores, and the tension kind of gets a little high. One of my favorite things to do with my kids is to have a dance party. We'll crank up some music and just start dancing, giggling, just having so much fun. So I encourage you to do that with your kids. Have a dance party. Be well, Spanish Fork.
By following the lessons taught in our Video Vitamins, you can make big changes in your world. Take them early and often. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Be Well. Remember, you're not alone in this journey to better health and happiness. If you need a lift up, ask someone for a boost. If you see someone that is struggling, offer a hand. We all need the help. Be sure to share this program with your friends. Until next time, be well, Spanish Fork.
Hey, we're all done. How do you feel?
Gunderson Dental wants you to be as comfortable as possible for your dental visit. We offer oral sedation so you can relax the whole time. Get more work done without discomfort. Don't endure another minute. Schedule your appointment today. Dental work never needs to scare you again. At Gunderson Dental in Payson.
What a great vacation.
All roads lead to the new Tim Daly Ford Grand Opening Celebration in Spanish Fork with a huge selection of Explorers, F-150s, Super Duties, and more. Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork has what you need. During Tim Daly Ford Grand Opening Celebration, save up to $14,000 off MSRP on a new 2018 Ford F-150. Also during our grand opening, receive 2 movie tickets with a test drive of any new Ford car or truck. When you think Ford, think Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork.
Smile, Spanish Fork.
Hello, I'm Alex Winder. You're watching the Spanish Fork Community Calendar. Here's what's happening in our community for the week of May 14th to the 20th. On Tuesday, May 15th, the Spanish Fork City Library will be continuing its class entitled Fathering with Love and Logic. The course will be taught every Tuesday in May from 6 to 8 p.m. Join guest lecturer Austin Brunson for an informative, interactive, and educational class on parenthood and family life. Tuesday evening, there will be a City Council meeting held at the Spanish Fork City offices at 6 p.m. The public is invited to attend, and any unable to do so can watch live on Spanish Fork 17. Maple Mountain High School and Mapleton Junior High School will be holding a combined spring orchestra concert on Tuesday for their final performances of the school year. The concert will begin at 7 p.m. in the Maple Mountain High School auditorium. Tuesday's activities at the Spanish Fork Senior Center include ceramics beginning at 8:30 a.m. and billiards starting at 9 a.m. On Wednesday, May 16th, the 4A state baseball quarterfinals begin in St. George. Every game matters as the Spanish Fork Dons play Skyview at Dixie High School. First pitch is scheduled for 11 a.m. Each game will be broadcast live on Spanish Fork 17. Depending on the result of the first game, the Dons would play again Wednesday evening at 4:30 p.m. at Dixie State University. Since it's the third Wednesday of the month, the Spanish Fork Community of Commerce is holding a noon networking luncheon from 12 to 1 p.m. The luncheon is a valuable way to expand your knowledge, learn from the success of others, attain new clients, and tell others about your business. This month's luncheon will be at the Spanish Fork Justice Center at 789 West Center Street. Contact Heather Yude at 801-798-8352 for more information. Wednesday evening, the Spanish Fork Public Library will be hosting a class entitled Getting Out of the Rut. Come learn how to break deeply ingrained habits that you don't want anymore. Presented by licensed therapist Megan Rigdon. The class will be held from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Wednesday is also the first day of auditions for Barefoot in the Park at the Angelus Theater, directed by Mark Shipley. Auditions begin at 6 p.m., and if you're unable to make it, auditions will continue on Saturday, May 19th at 10 a.m. And that night, there are a couple of high school choir concerts happening in the city. The Maple Mountain High School Choir has a concert beginning at 7 p.m. in their auditorium, and the Spanish Fork High School Choir has a Pops concert at 7 p.m. in their auditorium as well. Wednesday's activities at the Spanish Fork Senior Center include billiards starting at 9 a.m. and craft class and the Honeybee Quilting Guild at 10 a.m. On Thursday, May 17th, the 4A State Softball Quarterfinals are here in Spanish Fork. The Spanish Fork Lady Dons will seek to defend their state title as they play Cedar City High School at Spanish Fork Sports Park. First pitch is scheduled for 3:30 p.m. And that evening, Maple Mountain High School will be holding a percussion ensemble concert. The show will begin at 7 p.m. in the auditorium. Thursday's activities at the Spanish Fork Senior Center include billiards starting at 9 a.m., chorus practice at 9:30 a.m., sit-down exercises at 10:30 a.m., the senior congregate meal at 12 p.m., and card games and line dancing at 1:30 p.m. Friday, May 18th is a very exciting day. Who's ready for food trucks? Beginning this week, every Friday until the end of August, the Spanish Fork Salem Area Chamber of Commerce presents Food Trucks on Main, brought to you by the Utah Food Truck League. Come on down to the library park from 5 to 9 p.m. to get some delicious food from local vendors. You can see which food trucks are scheduled each week at thefoodtruckleague.com. This Friday, you can look out for Fior Pizza, Fry Me to the Moon SLC, Fatty Tuna Food, Miski Peruvian, El Sartan, Family Squeeze Lemonade, and Spuds. Saturday, May 18th is day 2 of Adopt a Planter, the planting of summer annuals in city flower beds, beginning at 8 a.m. This week, planting will begin in the cemetery and go from Center Street to 400 North. Be sure to bring a shovel, a broom, hand towel, and gloves. Saturday is also Celebrate Your Pet Day. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., you can come down to the Spanish Fork Fairgrounds for adoptions, vendors, silent auctions, low-cost vaccinations, and a licensing clinic. Contact South Utah Valley Animal Shelter at 801-851-4080 for more information. And Saturday night, head over to the Angelus Theater to hear Sean Barrows and Friends. This acoustic concert event features Emmy-nominated American Idol alum Sean Barrows and talented former One Voice Children's Choir standout Brooke Bromley. Join the Angelus Theater in celebrating life through old favorites, thought-provoking covers, Christian-centered songs, and brand new music written for this event. The show also features Jordan James and Adam Elenkowski. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and the show begins at 7 p.m. Tickets are just $6 and can be purchased at eventbrite.com. Here are some events to mark in your calendars looking ahead to next week. On Monday, May 21st, summer reading signups begin at the Spanish Fork Public Library. There are summer reading programs for everyone in the family. You can sign up all the way through June 30th. On Tuesday, May 22nd, the Spanish Fork City Library will continue its class entitled Fathering with Love and Logic. This course will be taught every Tuesday in May from 6 to 8 p.m. with guest lecturer Austin Brunson. Wednesday, May 23rd and Thursday, May 24th are the high school graduations for Spanish Fork High School and Maple Mountain High School at Utah Valley University. Spanish Fork ceremony will go from 6 to 8 p.m. on the 23rd, and Maple Mountains will be from 2 to 4 p.m. on the 24th. Congratulations, high school seniors. That's all for the week of May 14th to the 20th on Spanish Fork Community Calendar. Do you have an event you want advertised on the community calendar? Email us at sfcn17@gmail.com to let us know. Join us again next week for more community events. I'm Alex Winder. Thanks for watching.
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a Trusted Choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Your Trusted Choice agent is Matt Barber. Call Matt at 798-7461.
At MLH Heating and Cooling, our success is defined by the trust and loyalty of our customers who wouldn't call anyone else.
For every job, residential or commercial, Matt and his team bring a reputation for expertise and integrity. If your furnace or air conditioner can be repaired, we'll repair it. MLH is a Tempstar and Bryant factory authorized dealer with more than 20 years experience. MLH Heating and Cooling. We specialize in lifelong, satisfied customers.
Oops, better call ChemDry.
An independent lab study recently found that ChemDry's hot carbonating extraction cleaning process removes an average of 98% of household allergens from carpets and upholstery and 89% of airborne bacteria when a sanitizer was added. ChemDry cleans for your health like no one else.
In Utah County, all roads lead to Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork. And during our grand opening event, we're celebrating with amazing deals on service and tires. Right now, get 3 oil changes, 3 tire rotations, and 3 multi-point inspections for $89. Also take advantage of the Tim Daly Ford Best Buy Tire Program and get the best deals on all name brand tires. Utah County, when you think Ford, think Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork.
This is the Public Safety Report for the week of April 16th to April 22nd. Ambulance had 30 calls, attended to 30 patients, and transported 23 of those patients to the hospital. Fire and rescue crews had a total of 11 calls. 8 of these calls were medical assist, false alarm, canceled en route, or did not require medical transport. The police department received 478 calls, made 30 arrests, and had 53 violations within each of those arrests. This past week, there were 4 arrests made on warrants. 36-year-old Jose Rodriguez Limon from Spanish Fork, his warrant was for violation of a protective order. 32-year-old Melvin Mejia from Spanish Fork, his warrant was for interlock device for restricted driver. 22-year-old Shaylee Ford from Spanish Fork, her warrant was for operating a vehicle without insurance. And 31-year-old Zachary Lewis from Springville, his warrant was for DUI. The Public Safety Department truly does appreciate the involvement of good citizens. If you notice anything of suspicious nature or have comments, questions, or concerns, please do not hesitate to call 801-804-4700. You can also learn more about the Public Safety Department by visiting sfcpd.org.
Honey, can you get that?
Hello? Honey, it's for you. It's your mother. You're coming here. He didn't tell me. Of course you can stay here.
Oops, better call ChemDry.
Our little community has certainly grown over the years, and Western States Insurance has been here with you all along. We have played together. We have served in our city together. We have become good friends. We have mourned together. We have learned together. We celebrate together. We have cheered on our teams together. We're glad to be a part of you, Spanish Fork. At Western States Insurance, we protect what matters most, you, our friends.
Life's difficult moments are deepened when we find ourselves alone. There are times when we need each other. Only by giving of ourselves do we truly find happiness. This is the reason we have relationships. We do for others what they can't do for themselves. We revere life, and we revere health. Let's live better.
One fateful day, two of Mitsubishi's safest siblings were separated. The Roberts family adopted the Outlander, while Mike and Jenny took home the Outlander Sport. But no matter where their journeys take them, they'll always be part of America's safest crossover family. The 2018 Mitsubishi Outlander and Outlander Sport, starting at $22,995.
Hi, this is the Spanish Fork Library. We're excited to share with you some of our awesome new books. Check them out today. Born to be Good by Michael Fry. Victor Spoil hates the Junior Super Academy. It makes him cranky, and his parents couldn't be more proud because supervillains aren't meant to be nice. Until Victor confesses he wants to become a librarian. The horror! But when superheroes and villains, including his parents, start disappearing, only a dedicated do-gooder like Victor can track them down. But to be a hero, Victor finally has to embrace his inner villain. Will he be able to stoop that low? Don't miss this highly anticipated follow-up to the best-selling How to Be a Supervillain. Be Prepared by Vera Brozgol. All Vera wants to do is fit in, but that's not easy for a Russian girl in the suburbs. Her friends live in fancy houses, and their parents can afford to send them to the best summer camps. Vera's single mother can't afford that sort of luxury, but there's one summer camp in her price range, Russian summer camp. Vera is sure she's found the one place she can fit in, but camp is far from what she imagined. And nothing could prepare her for all the cool girl drama, endless Russian history lessons, and outhouses straight out of her nightmares. Beautifully drawn, brutally funny, and brilliantly honest, you have to check this book out. Into the Nightfell Wood by Kristen Bailey. Wynn and Elric may now be safe, but adjusting to life in the between is not without complications. Their adoptive mother, the benevolent fairy queen, is haunted by the memory of her child who was kidnapped. This grief has been weakening the queen's powers for years, and the protective shield around their kingdom is deteriorating. Wynn is coerced into the Nightfell Wood, and Elric knows he must rescue her. What they discover there about fear, prejudice, and the true nature of evil will change the fairy kingdom forever. This action-packed fantasy novel about two siblings and the fractured world they inherit when they are adopted by a grieving queen is the stunning sequel to The Silver Gate. Make sure to add it to your list. Devils Unto Dust by Emma Berquist. Keep together. Keep your eyes open. Keep your wits about you. The desert is unkind in the best of times, and the decade since the Civil War has been anything but the best of times for Daisy Wilcox. Call her Willie. A horrifying sickness is spread across the West Texas desert. Infected people, called sheiks, attack the living, and the surviving towns are only as safe as their perimeter walls are strong. The state is all but quarantined from the rest of the country. Willie has managed to keep her siblings safe even after the sickness took their mother. But when their good-for-nothing father steals a fortune from one of the most merciless sheik hunters in town, and Willie is left on the hook for his debt. With two young hunters as guides, Willie sets out across the desert to find her father. And the desert holds more dangers than just sheiks. This tense, heart-pounding alternate history about a young woman fighting to survive the unthinkable will keep fans of Westworld and The Walking Dead reading late into the night. Check it out today. Soon-to-be senior hopes to complete her costume portfolio away from the online abuse she has endured since winning a cosplay contest, dressed as a character from a game she's never played. Unfortunately, the only comic shop in town, her main destination for character reference, is staffed by a dude bro owner who challenges every woman who comes into the shop. At her twin brother's suggestion, Cameron borrows a set of his clothes and uses her costuming expertise to waltz into the shop as Boy Cameron, where she's shocked at how easily she's accepted into the nerd inner sanctum. Before she can say Demogorgon, Cameron finds herself drafted into a D&D campaign. But as her secret identity gets more and more entrenched, Cameron's portfolio falls by the wayside, and her feelings for her dungeon master threaten to make a complicated situation even more precarious. cosplay, comic shops, and college applications collide in this illustrated novel, Geek Girl Anthem. It's a must-read. I Have Lost My Way by Gail Foreman. Alone they are lost, together they are found. Around the time that Freya loses her voice while recording her debut album, Harun is making plans to run away from everyone he has ever loved, and Nathaniel is arriving in New York City with a backpack, a desperate plan, and nothing left to lose. When a fatal accident draws these strangers together, their secrets start to unravel as they begin to understand that the way out of their own loss might just lie in helping the others out of theirs. From New York Times best-selling author of If I Stay comes a beautifully written love song in every young person who has ever moved through fear and found themselves on the other side. Put it on hold today. Not If I Save You First by Allie Carter. Maddie thought she and Logan would be friends forever. But when your dad is a Secret Service agent and your best friend is the president's son, sometimes life has other plans. Before she knows it, Maddie's dad is dragging her to a cabin in the middle of the Alaskan wilderness. No phone, no internet, and not a single word from Logan. Maddie tells herself it's okay. She has wood to cut and weapons to bedazzle. Her life is full. Until Logan shows up 6 years later, and Maddie wants to kill him. But before that can happen, an assailant appears out of nowhere, knocking Maddie off a cliff and dragging Logan to some unknown fate. Maddie knows she could turn back and get help, but the weather is turning and the terrain will only get more treacherous, the animals more deadly. Maddie still really wants to kill Logan, but she has to save him first. Don't miss this new book by Allie Carter.
I've Got My Eyes on You by Mary Higgins Clark. For all of you Mary Higgins Clark fans, this book is a definite read for you. When Carrie Dowling is found dead at the bottom of the family pool, her devastated family faces the horrifying realization that Carrie might have been murdered by someone she loved. The obvious first suspect is Carrie's boyfriend, with whom she had an argument at the party that she threw while her parents were away. But suspicion falls upon the Dowlings' neighbor, an intellectually disabled young man named Jamie. Was a lack of invitation to the party enough to set him off? And is the pile of wet clothing his mother found in his room a sign of something sinister? Join Carrie's older sister, Aline, and local detective as they begin to unveil the truth to this gruesome case. Miss Wilton's Waltz by Josie Kilpack. For fans of popular author Josie Kilpack, this is her newest title. Lenora Wilton has spent her life hiding behind the keys of her pianoforte and her younger sister Cassie. Now she is ready for a change and travels to Bath to live with her Aunt Gwen and teach music at an all-girls boarding school. Find out how this new chapter in Lenora's life unfolds as she crosses paths with the troublesome student Catherine, who is a niece to the handsome Aidan Asher. A must-read for the proper romance fan. The Girls in the Picture by Melanie Benjamin. It is 1914, and 25-year-old Frances Marion has left her second husband for the lure of Los Angeles, where she is determined to live independently as an artist. But the word on everyone's lips these days is flickers, the silent moving pictures enthralling theater goers. In this fledgling industry, Frances finds her true calling, writing stories for this new medium. As in any good Hollywood story, dramas will play out, personalities will clash, and even the deepest friendships might be shattered. For an enriching read that captures the dawn of a glittering new era, its myths and icons, its possibilities and potential, and its seduction and heartbreak, come to our library and check out this historical fiction today. Educated by Tara Westover. This book is written by the author. Tara Westover was 17 the first time she set foot in a classroom. Born to survivalists in the mountains of Idaho, she grew up stewing herbs for her mother, a midwife and healer, and salvaging metal from her father's junkyard. Her father distrusted medical establishment, so Tara never saw a doctor or nurse. Gashes and concussions, even burns from explosions were all treated at home with herbalism. Find out how Tara got accepted into Brigham Young University and later Cambridge. Educated is an account of the struggle of self-invention. It is a tale of fierce family loyalty and of grief that comes from severing ties with those closest to you. an interesting and inspiring read for all nonfiction book lovers. Magnolia Table by Joanna Gaines. Looking for new healthy recipes? Find out what Joanna Gaines feeds her family by trying one of these delicious collections from Joanna Gaines, female star from the TV series Fixer Upper. Come on down to the library and check it out today. Running is My Therapy by Scott Douglas. There's no other book like this. Longtime running writer Scott Douglas marshals expert advice and a growing body of scientific research to show how running can make us happier. How? Everyone knows that running builds stronger muscles and a healthier heart. Science now shows it also helps with developing a healthier brain. For those struggling with depression and anxiety, a consistent running routine can enhance the mental health benefits of talk therapy, antidepressants, and cognitive behavioral therapy. Running is My Therapy is no longer just a mantra for seasoned runners. It can become your mantra too. Read this book to find out how.
Come check out these new titles and other awesome books at Spanish Fork Library on 40 South Main. Hope to see you soon.
Doug Smith Spanish Fork is Utah's truck center. Can't decide between a Chevy or a Ram? Drive them both. Compare and then decide. Rugged Ram trucks, 1500s, heavy duties, four-wheel drives, Hemis, and the complete Chevy lineup, including diesels, all engine sizes, and cab options. Everyone qualifies for these offers. Drive and compare right here in your own backyard at Utah's Truck Center. Doug Smith Spanish Fork, just west of the freeway at 1341 North Main.
Hey, Doug.
At MLH Heating and Cooling, our success is defined by the trust and loyalty of our customers who wouldn't call anyone else.
For every job, residential or commercial, Matt and his team bring a reputation for expertise and integrity. If your furnace or air conditioner can be repaired, we'll repair it. MLH is a Tempstar and Bryant factory authorized dealer with more than 20 years experience. MLH Heating and Cooling. We specialize in lifelong, satisfied customers.
Today's no ordinary day for the Sims family. Today is the day where Mark Sims' time and dedication is paid off. And since his family has supported him from day one, she's beautiful. Mark's dream is more than just his achievement.
What'd you think? What'd you think? You like it?
It's theirs as well. Because we value your dream as much as you do, protect it. With auto insurance from American Family Insurance.
Tim Shanto, American Family Insurance Agent, 690 North Main Street, Spanish Fork.
You've known us in your community for years. With our ever-expanding certified truck selection, we invite you to come see what a best-in-state used car dealership feels like. All our trucks have warranties available to purchase, and with our background in vehicle repairs, we know how to pick the right truck for you. Come down and test drive one of our many qualified pre-owned trucks today. I promise you won't regret it.
Leo? Leo, are you out here?
Gail, I thought you were not bed.
I thought you had, Leo.
Couldn't you sleep?
No. My room is cold and damp. Only this hateful fog seems to be at home there.
I told you this island was no place for you.
My mother lived here.
And died here. Violently.
She lived here for your sake.
Gail, I don't blame you for resenting me. I hadn't realized the name Leo Granger was still headline news. I never imagined that the press would revive the whole dirty mess again. Dead. I'd have to remain isolated here for a long while. But that's no reason for you to stay buried on this forsaken island.
Leo, I don't hold you accountable for the position I find myself in. It's just that, for the present at least, I too would like to avoid the public. In fact, for a while, I'd like not to see anybody.
I'm afraid that won't be possible, Gail. If you insist on remaining here.
Why?
There are a few people I must see. Some, shall we say, associates.
You're going to let them come out here?
I'm going to invite them out here.
Surely you don't think they'd accept your invitation. Well, they'd be afraid to.
I have an idea that their greed will outweigh their fear.
Their greed?
Yes. It was their greed that made them invest heavily with me, because they thought I could make more money for them than anyone else. And when my financial empire crashed, they were the first to cry swindler. Now, if I can intimate to them that they will have a chance of sharing in that supposed loot, they'll respond to my invitation.
What was that?
I'm just knocking on my pipe, dear.
No, I meant that noise outside.
Sounded like the branch of a tree. Wind must be coming up. I'll go and see. What is it, Doc?
I thought you might put me up, Leo.
What do you want it for this time?
Oh, merely petty larceny. I had to eat. I couldn't get a job after serving my term with you. The newspapers printed our pictures again. Everybody recognized me.
It won't be convenient to keep you here too long. I've invited some of our friends over for the weekend.
That crowd that sent us up?
How did you know that?
You were more confidential as my cellmate than as my employer.
And you were less of a menace behind prison bars than you were in my accountant's cage.
I have the same score to settle with that crowd that you have. I could be of help to you.
You might. Let's talk it over. Go to the small door under this balcony. It's open. Wait for me there.
Won't be too long.
I said wait for me there.
Leo, I've been thinking, I believe I've discovered why you failed in business. You surrounded yourself with the wrong people.
I didn't surround myself with them. Sylvia Jordan did.
How could she? Blackmail?
Practically. As my secretary, she knew a lot about my private affairs, which gave her a certain amount of influence. Then when I married your mother instead of her, Sylvia became vitriolic. She sold me out to her friends, Richfield, Kavanaugh, a whole double-crossing gang that railroaded me. I wouldn't have cared if they'd stopped at that, but they didn't. One of them, maybe the whole group indirectly, was responsible for the death of your mother.
Leo, what are you saying?
Oh, the circumstances surrounding the murder of your mother was obviously prearranged. Isn't it logical, Gail, that this group, having put me safely away in prison, should come back here to learn from Karma the whereabouts of the fortune I was supposed to have sorted away? Failing, they struck her down fatally. And they ransacked the place until they were disturbed by the launch returning with the servants.
But if any of them did murder Mother, do you think they'd risk coming back out here?
Now, don't forget, they didn't get what they came after.
I tell you, they won't accept.
Well, let's wait and see.
Emmeline Bronson, Psychic Research Laboratory. Alec Richfield. This is Emmeline. I was engrossed casting a horoscope. Otherwise, I would have known it was you wanting to contact me. You received an invitation? Wait a minute. Let me see. It's from Leo Granger, inviting you to a weekend at Fog Island. Just a minute. Furthermore, I can tell you the date. It's for the 16th. What? Well, of course my powers of divination haven't diminished.
What do you make of it, Emily?
Well, are you consulting me professionally as an astrologist or socially as a friend?
Well, I thought as a good friend of old standing.
In that case, I'd say Leo wanted something. Advice. As you may recall, he never went into any big ventures without first consulting me.
Yes. And you never advised him without first asking John Kavanaugh what to tell him.
Kavanaugh was very generous with me when I influenced Leo's transactions.
Yes. And your influence paid you well. However, I'm curious to know what you think Leo's up to.
Well, I, for one, am going out to Fog Island to find out. And you?
I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
Nevertheless, I'll probably see you out there amongst the others.
And just who would the others be?
Why, our own little crowd, of course. John Kavanaugh, Sylvia Jordan, and... Yes, that's right.
What has Leo Granger to say, John?
How do you know this is from Leo Granger?
As a private secretary for years, I might at least be expected to recognize his handwriting, don't you think?
Of course.
Have you read between the lines?
Read what?
That I might see justice done?
Well?
Does it occur to you that Leo may have found out how you played up to Karma while he was out of the way?
I didn't. I always liked Karma. There was no point in avoiding her just because he got into trouble.
And there was no point, I suppose, in your chartering that boat all by yourself just to call on her at Fog Island.
Who said I chartered a boat?
The man who owned it.
He also admitted taking a veiled woman out to the island, alone.
I never wear veils. Besides, why should I want to see Karma?
To get information.
That needn't exclude you in Leo's mind as one of Alec's henchmen.
How do you know that?
I know Leo Granger. I know the way his mind works. He's a very suspicious and vindictive man.
How about Kingsley? Emmeline Bronston. Yes, even you. Don't forget the damaging effect your testimony as his private secretary had on the case.
I'm not forgetting it. Nevertheless, I don't expect Leo ever to forgive me. Leo Granger will never forgive any one of us.
5 years in the penitentiary can do a lot to a man.
Not to Leo Granger.
You get one of these? The same?
Identically. And I dare say there's a half a dozen others floating around amongst our erstwhile associates.
Shall you go?
I think so.
You're not afraid?
Are you?
Well, not exactly afraid, but,
But what?
maybe intrigued. After all, he got away with quite a fortune. If he's going to pay off, I want to be there.
That's what I thought. And if you go, I'll go. And if we go, the others will go.
Will they?
There's safety in numbers.
Sound of their voices, I'd say about 4 or 5. I can't tell through this fog.
Good. So, Allison.
Yes, sir.
The guests are here. Will you look after the luggage?
Very well, sir.
Well, how are you, Leo? Quite fit, John, and you? Never better.
No, Leo.
Now, Sylvia, this is a curious place. Yes, strangely enough, it was built by pirates. But you shouldn't have any difficulty in finding your way around, John.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again, Sylvia, after all this time.
Thanks, Leo. You're looking well.
You know, penitentiaries aren't exactly a health resort. I wouldn't recommend them to my friends. There's a fire waiting.
Thank you. Leo. If it's any consolation to you, your water sign predicts satisfaction for you here.
What about you, Emmeline?
Me? Oh, don't you know a seer is never any good for herself?
That's a climb.
Getting soft, Alec? Oh, not so you do, is it, Leo? Of course, cigars may have cut my wind a bit, but I still smoke them when I want them. Something I was forced to give up, cigars. You got those that I sent you? Yes, I got them, but they weren't my fancy. However, my cellmate enjoyed them and survived. Lucky.
Hello, Mr. Granger. I'm Jeff Kingsley, son of Jefferson Kingsley, to whom you sent an invitation. Apparently you didn't know Dad died a month ago.
Oh, no, I didn't. I'm sorry.
You don't mind, of course, my coming out here to see justice done?
Of course not. Come in.
Thank you.
Do you know all the others?
I introduced myself to them on the launch on the way out. Yes, I know everyone, including your stepdaughter, although I don't know that she remembers me from college. Hello.
Hello.
It's been a long time.
Yes.
Surprised?
Somewhat.
Would you like me to explain?
I don't think that's necessary.
You're not very glad to see me, are you?
Should I be?
Maybe not. Would it bore you out any if I were to tell you I'm glad to see you?
Thanks.
I'm sure you're all wondering why I invited you here. So let's settle that question right now at the beginning. I invited you out here for, let me say, retribution. Now, retribution is an odd word. It can mean so many things. It could mean reward, the return of money you think I stole from you. It could mean giving you an opportunity of getting even with me, or with each other. It could mean revenge, seeking a life for a life. You see, you killed something very dear to me. It might have been friendship. It might have been my ideals. It might have been my wife. Perhaps you never knew it, but I happen to love Karma. She was more than just a wife to me. She was my ideal, my friend. Whichever one of you killed her will kill again and just as wantonly. So let me warn you, the innocent among you, to be wary of the murderer whenever he or she finds it necessary to strike again. And that, my dear friends, concludes the business of the evening. Now let's all be as sociable as we can. Oh, I omitted to mention that we have another house guest, Doc Lake. You all remember Doc Lake? I'm sure. My accountant who was sent up with me. Doc, our friends are having a little drink. Perhaps you'd care to join them.
Good evening. Yes. Since Leo puts it so delicately, I'd be delighted to have a drink. And renew old acquaintance.
Oh, by the way, I'm afraid I had to send the launch back to the mainland for some slight repairs. It'll be back in the morning, probably. In the meantime, I'm quite sure you'll find every convenience on this island, except, of course, the telephone. Dinner will be at 8:30. Many years ago, it was the custom of this household, when it was in the hands of pirates, to let a man eat his fill, then permit him to know his fate. I'm not so barbaric, of course. I'm merely following the old custom by giving each one of you a token favor, or clue, shall we say, to retribution.
Leo, what is this key?
Perhaps it's the key to your happiness, my dear. Oh, Kingsley, that is a superstition that the gift of a knife will cut friendship. I'm not superstitious, are you?
Not with this in my hand, I'm not.
I think I'll retire. I have been used to very early hours these last few years. Gail, I think our guests will enjoy a little music if you feel so disposed.
Anything special you would like?
No, anything you like. Preferably something favoring the woodwinds.
Why, the woodwinds, Leo.
I don't know, dear, there's something very plaintive about the music of oboes, flutes, clarinets, and something very enticing.
Mind if I join you?
And if I did?
I'd join you anyway.
You tried that before.
And missed.
And this time?
I'm your guest, remember?
Not mine. Leo Granger's.
Hey, we're all done. How do you feel?
Gunderson Dental wants you to be as comfortable as possible for your dental visit. We offer oral sedation so you can relax the whole time. Get more work done without discomfort. Don't endure another minute. Schedule your appointment today. Dental work never needs to scare you again. At Gunderson Dental in Payson.
What a great vacation.
My name is Karma Karsten, the owner of Maple Creek Home Health and Hospice. Maple Creek provides care for those facing a life-limiting illness in the comfort of their own home. Assessing someone's situation and their specific disease and the medications that's required takes experience. We at Maple Creek have that experience. Medicare pays 100% for all hospice services. There are no complicated forms for you to fill out. If you or a loved one are facing a terminal illness, give us a call or visit our website.
Oops, better call ChemDry.
An independent lab study recently found that ChemDry's hot carbonating extraction cleaning process removes an average of 98% of household allergens from carpets and upholstery and 89% of airborne bacteria when a sanitizer was added. ChemDry cleans for your health like no one else.
Telling me what this is all about.
What is all about?
This party or whatever it is.
Don't you know?
No.
Then why did you come?
I had my reasons.
I'm sure of that.
Good reasons.
From your point of view?
All of which means you're not going to tell me?
That's right.
Which also means you don't trust me?
Right.
Odd favors Leo gives. Or do you understand yours?
Yours, Dr. Lake? I suspect Leo wants to keep track of you. Mine is really quite simple. Leo always said my pencils weren't practical. The eraser, of course, is one of Leo's little innuendos. I have a feeling Leo is not in his right mind. Have you felt that?
You understand, I hope that I've never actually practiced the profession of medicine.
Nevertheless, that doesn't prevent you from hazarding a personal opinion.
Not necessarily. But as a student of the occult, perhaps you could hazard an opinion.
The sign, Pisces. Of course you know what his sign indicates. Two fishes swimming in opposite direction and with Jupiter in the ascendant. I should not like to predict what would happen.
His health, never too sturdy, hasn't been aided by prolonged inactivity. I shouldn't like to hazard an opinion either.
You know, Doctor, I think you and I have something in common.
No? What's that, may I ask?
We've both been in Leo's confidence. I, from an astral point of view, have been in his spiritual confidence, and you, from a business point of view, have been in his financial confidence.
Oh.
So, possibly by pooling our information, we might work more or less together to our mutual advantage.
Clever of you to discern that. What's the matter?
Mayor. John, do you know of any way we can get off this island?
There isn't any way. I asked the butler. Why?
I'm afraid.
Of what?
I don't know. But this to Leo always suggested death.
What to Leo might this suggest?
What is it?
Multiplication tables, 2 times 2 and so on.
It might be one of Leo's subtle warnings, insinuating you're not to attempt any more juggling of figures to your own satisfaction. But I get a feeling it goes deeper than that. Tables, skulls. What did Alec get?
Oh, I didn't see. He stuffed it in his pocket too fast.
Alec knows something. I wonder what that key is to.
What key?
One Gail got.
Why don't you find out?
I will when I get a chance.
Watch out for young Kingsley. I don't trust him.
Suppose you watch out for young Kingsley.
I will.
I didn't know you played so well.
Didn't you?
You know, there was a time I thought I knew pretty much about you.
Did you?
Quite hard. The Lightning has passed on the bright side, however, and welcome back here to Don Andrews Field. It's been a nice long hour rain delay. It feels like maybe 45 minutes. Amanda Mitchell fouls that one off to the right side there, and she is now down 1-2. The Dons up 4-0 in this one, scoring 1 run in the bottom of the first, 3 more in the bottom of the second inning, and that is a strikeout of Amanda Mitchell for the first out of the inning here, and right back to where she left off. The pitcher Atlin Johnson, number 14 for the Buffaloes, another strikeout for her today, and she is back and grooving on the mound.
Batter number 16, Trinity Benson.
Her 9th strikeout today, as a bunt is laid down by Trinity Benson, and she is safe over there at first. A nice bunt single by Benson here with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Taking advantage of the very wet conditions here, that bunt just absolutely died in the dirt. The ball will be rolling very slowly as it is somewhat of a muddy situation out here, and Trinity Benson was able to beat out the play. And that ball is flied out to left field off the bat of Mallory Barber, and it is caught for the first out of the inning here in the second out of the inning here in the bottom of the 4th. We thank you for bearing with us through this delay, and while it is still raining quite hard here today.
2 down brings up number 17, shortstop Gabby.
These two teams fighting for that spot to get to the final day tomorrow. And that pitch gets up and away and by the catcher, Blake Hervat, and that will allow Trinity Benson to move over to second now. And the 1-0 coming now to Beckstrom, who has the biggest hit to date so far in this game. 1 for 2 on the day, but a big RBI 2-run triple coming back. 2 RBI triple coming back in the second inning. And that pitch is low, and it will bring the count to 2-0. Now on Beckstrom. And a short little meeting on the mound between the third baseman Peyton Hammond and Alan Johnson, trying to get order settled down here after falling behind 2-0. Good RBI opportunity for Beckstrom here in the bottom of the fourth, and a ground ball over to the shortstop, and that ball dies in the mud again, and the play is unable to be made. And that will be a base hit for Beckstrom. Trinity Benson moving over to third, and runners on the corners here with 2 outs now in the bottom of the fourth. And the batter at the plate now
Next batter, number 2, Jordan Bate.
will be number 2, Jordan Bate, as Bate takes strike 1 on the outside corner. And Bate fouls that one off into the catcher Blake Hervat's glove, and a nice play there, as that is now 0-2 on the batter Bate. And Bate lays off that one high and upstairs, bringing the count to 1-2 now. Good RBI opportunity for Bate at the plate. Bate over 2 with 2 strikeouts today, but did reach on one of those strikeouts as it got by the catcher Hervat. She was able to move over to second, and on the play, Mallory Barber was able to come in and score the first run of this game, as that pitch is low and in the dirt. Nice play by Hervat there to catch that ball and keep it in front and keep Trinity Benson at third. Jordan Bate with the 2-2 count now. Runners on the corners here with 2 outs. Bate at the plate, Beckstrom on first, Benson on third. And that pitch is up and away, but the backstop not very deep here, as Benson will have to hold at third. On the play, however, Beckstrom is able to move over to second base, as there are now runners on second and third here. And a full count coming to Jordan Bate with the dangerous Breeley Rudd on deck. And Briley Rudd at the plate. And she swings and smashes that one out to left field. And that will one hop over the wall. A ground rule double, and 2 runs will come in to score for the Dons, extending their lead to 6-0 now here in the bottom of the fourth. Big bottom half of the inning here for the Dons, extending their lead and reasserting control in this game after what many wondered if the 40-minute rain delay was going to slow them down a little bit, give the Buffaloes a chance to regain some composure after struggling in the early going. But the Lady Dons bats are right back at it, and 2 more runs coming in on that RBI double off the bat of Bate, her first base hit of the game. And it is 6-0 Lady Dons now here with 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. And Briley Rudd now stepping up to the plate as she takes ball 1 upstairs. Jordan Bate with the great piece of hitting, smashing that double down the left field line a moment ago. And a strike again right there on the outside corner will bring the count to 0-2 now on Rudd. And that ball is grounded over to the shortstop. And a nice play over there by Maddie Baker, throwing it over to first for the 3rd out of the inning, but not before 2 runs come in to score on 3 hits. 1 runner left on base. And after 4 complete innings here at Don Andrew Field, at 6-0 Dons over the Buffaloes. We'll be back in a minute here on SF17.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
And welcome back here on SF-17 to the top of the 5th inning in this very rainy affair here at Don Andrews Field, home of the Lady Dons. This is the second consecutive elimination game for both of these teams today. The Dons winning earlier today over the Desert Hills Thunder 12-0 via run rule in 5 innings. And the Tooele Buffaloes picking up the win over the Lehigh Pioneers 8-3. Both of these teams the number 1 and number 2 ranked teams in the state of Utah. Very impressive considering this is only 4A and there's also a 5A and 6A region in Utah. But these teams are ranked ahead of all of the teams in both of the regions above them. Both of them surprisingly losing a game yesterday, with the Buffaloes losing 8-4 to Bear River, and the Dons losing 2-1 to Cedar City. As Jordan Bate is back out there on the mound here in the top of the 5th as the first baseman, number 17, Emma Jackson, steps to the plate. Jackson, a strikeout victim back in the 2nd inning. Swings through that first pitch for strike 1.
Now batting for Tooele, Emma Jackson.
And that pitch is up and away, bringing the count to 1-1 now on Jackson. As that pitch is again up and away, bringing the count to 2-1 on the day for Jordan Bate. She has only allowed 2 base hits, singles. The last one coming for the last out last inning as Peyton Hammond singled but then was caught stealing second. The 0-2 now. Oh, excuse me, the 1-1 now, and the count is now 1-2 to the batter. 1-2 now on Jackson. And that ball is up, bringing the count to 2-2 now. Bate very consistent on the day. 2 strikeouts in the first inning, 2 more in the second, and 2 in the third. And that pitch is there, looking, strike 3, and the first strikeout of the top of the 5th here as Jordan Bate continues to deal through the rain and difficult weather situation. 6-0, the Dons lead here in the top of the 5th. 1 out as Jackson just struck out there. And the catcher, number 9, Blake Hervat, now stepping up to the plate for the Buffaloes. And that pitch is fouled off to the right side, bringing the count to 0-1 now on Hervat. Hervat has struggled greatly behind the plate today, allowing multiple pass balls and making it possible for Don's runners to move up into scoring position before big hits off the bats of Jordan Bate and Gabby Beckstrom have driven in 4 of the 6 runs today. As that pitch is up and in, bringing the count to 1-1 now on Hervat. 1 out already so far this inning. As that pitch is low to Hervat, bringing the count to 2-1. A subdued crowd here now due to the weather situation. As that ball is fouled off to the right side, bringing the count to 2-2 now. Everyone finding their way under cover for the most part, or umbrellas or whatever cover they can find here in this rainy day at Don Andrews Field. 1 out in the top of the 5th, and the 2-2 coming now to Hervat. And it is swung on and missed on the fastball up. And there are 2 outs now after back-to-back strikeouts from Jordan Bate here to lead off the 5th and help the Dons keep their momentum in this game.
2 down brings up number 4, designated player Jenna Gowans.
And Jenna Gowns, the designated player, now steps up to the plate. a strikeout victim back in the second inning. And that ball is fouled off to the right side. Back in the second, Jackson, Hervat, and Gowans all struck out consecutively as Bate struck out the side. And again in this inning so far, Jackson and Hervat have struck out for a second time. Bate will be looking to strike out these three hitters again as that ball is ripped out into left field for a base hit. And a nice play out there by the left fielder Trinity Benson to go over and get in front of that ball and throw it in. And that will be a 2-out single for the Buffaloes here in the top of the fifth. The third base hit for the Buffaloes today. Unfortunately for the Buffaloes, all three of those hits have come with 2 outs. Amber Lujan, the left fielder, with a single with 2 outs in the first, unable to come around and score. Peyton Hammond, the third baseman, with a single in the fourth, caught stealing shortly thereafter. And now Jenna Gowns with a single here with 2 outs in the fifth. So 3 2-out singles, but yet to do any damage as a first pitch strike is thrown to the right fielder, McKenna Baker. Baker led off the top of the third with a pop out to the second baseman, Aislinn Sharp, who has made a couple nice plays out there today. As that one is fouled back, bringing the count to 0-2 on Baker now. Bate doing a good job of working quickly and getting ahead of the batter. No surprise that pitchers and players are working quickly out there as they want to avoid being out in the rain and these conditions for as long as possible, as that ball is popped up high into the infield, and it is called by the first baseman, Amanda Mitchell, and that will end the top of the fifth inning here. No runs on 1 hit. Gowans the single left on base, and as we head now to the bottom of the fifth, it is 6-0 Dons over the Buffaloes here on SF-17. And we would like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's game, the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen Wise, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, Sporting Goods for all seasons, and 2 Jack's Pizza. And as we head now to the bottom of the fifth, Atlin Johnson still on the mound. And the juniors, Sharp, Smith, and Condi coming up to the plate here for the Dons in the bottom of the fifth. Dons able to score 1 run in the bottom of the first on a hit batter by Barber, able to move over to second on a wild pitch, and then able to come home on a strikeout that the catcher dropped and threw it out into the middle of the outfield, trying to throw Jordan Bate out on the play. And then in the second inning, the Dons were able to pick up 3 more. The bulk of that coming on a triple off the bat of senior shortstop Gabby Beckstrom, as 2 runs were able to come around and score on that play. And then last inning, Jordan Bate with a big RBI double, driving in both Benson and Beckstrom. And that's how we've gotten to this point so far in this game. Thank you for tuning back in here on SF-17. A reminder that you can watch this game on youtube.com/SpanishFork17 as our Lady Dons look to win their 4th consecutive high school softball state championship, having won in both 15, 16, and 17, looking for a 4-peat here in 2018, suffering a setback yesterday with a 2-1 loss to Cedar City, but a solid lead over the Buffaloes of Tooele here today as Aislinn Sharp fouls that one off to the right side. Bear River and Cedar City playing on the field next to us. The loser of that game will play the Dons tomorrow morning, assuming the Dons can hold on in this one, with the winner of the game tomorrow morning heading to the championship. So only 4 teams remain of the 16 competitors that entered this tournament, as a swing and a miss on the fastball upstairs to Aislinn Sharp. Sharp is 1 for 2 on the day with a single back in the 3rd inning. Sharp is a .522 hitter on the year with 35 hits and 29 RBIs, as she fouls that one off to stay alive. as that pitch is ripped down the third base line. And Aislinn Sharp will mosey on over to second base for a leadoff double here in the bottom of the fifth. The second hit of the game for Aislinn Sharp as she continues to see the ball well today. And her 8th double on the season. And that is good for tied for second best on this team with 8 doubles now. Excuse me, third best on this team behind Beckstrom with 13 and Bate with 10. And a bunt attempt there. And a nice play over there by the pitcher, Adeline Johnson. But Lindsey Smith able to get the bunt down and move Aislinn Sharp over to third with only 1 out here. One out here in the... Oh, excuse me, they are ruling that she is going to be safe at first base now, saying that they shoved her and that her foot was, or excuse me, saying that her foot was just off of the bag when the throw was made over there, and that will allow her to reach safely, as there are no outs now here in the bottom of the 5th inning with runners on first and third. A clarification by the umpire coming over and talking to us now as he says that her foot was off of the base when the throw was made. A nice play by Adeline Johnson, but the first baseman, Emma Jackson, was unable to keep her foot on the bag there, and that allowed Lindsey Smith to reach safely on that bunt attempt. And another bunt attempt right there, and this time Emma Jackson is able to keep her foot on the base, but Lindsey Smith able to move over to second on the play, and runners on second and third now with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. So back-to-back sac bunt attempts. Murray Condi laying that one down right there for the first out of the inning here in the 5th. And junior Amanda Mitchell, the first baseman, with a good RBI opportunity here with a runner on second and with runners on second and third. Sharp on third, Lindsey Smith on second, and Mitchell at the plate here with only 1 out in the 5th. And a swing and a miss from Amanda Mitchell. Mitchell singled back in the second inning and advanced to second on the throwing error by the pitcher. She was eventually able to come around and score as a part of that 3-run inning on the RBI triple off the bat of Gabby Beckstrom. As she squares around to bunt and lays that one down. And the throw at the plate is wide, and the runner is safe. A little bit of an error there by Adeline Johnson, fielding the bunt cleanly, but Hervat unable to make the catch and the tag at the plate. And that will be an error on the pitcher on the throw on the bunt attempt. And the Dons really taking advantage of these muddy conditions and forcing the Buffaloes to make plays. And so far they've been unable to make the plays on these bunts as Lindsey Smith moves over to third on the play. Amanda Mitchell moves to first, and with 1 out, it is 7-0 now as 1 run has come across so far in the 5th here for the Lady Dons. Trinity Benson takes that pitch for strike 1. Benson also reached on a bunt single earlier this game back in the 4th inning as she lays around and squares around to bunt, and that will be a base hit as well. And it is a bunt fest here for the Dons here in the 5th inning. A base hit single for Trinity Benson. And on the play, Amanda Mitchell moving all the way over to third. Lindsey Smith coming in to score. And now it is 8-0 here for the Dons as they have runners on first and third with only 1 out. In the top of the lineup with senior third baseman Mallory Barber stepping up to the plate. And Barber will foul that one off down the right field side. And a nice catch there by the second baseman, Mercy DeRica. Mercy DeRica making an over-the-shoulder catch in foul territory there. A very impressive play. And the runners will remain on first and third. Benson on first, Mitchell on third. And the batter, Gabby Beckstrom, will step up to the plate here with 2 outs. And Beckstrom lines that one out into the left center field gap, and that will get all the way to the wall, and that will be an RBI double for Beckstrom, as runners will now be on second and third here. Mitchell coming in to score. Benson moving around to third. Beckstrom with the RBI double, and the third run of the inning comes across as Mitchell is able to come in and score, and it is 9-0 now here in the bottom of the fifth with 2 outs. A meeting out there on the mound by the Tooele Buffaloes as Atlin Johnson has really let things kind of get out of hand here. Fortunately, the rain has stopped falling for the moment. But despite the lack of rain, the conditions on the infield and the outfield grass are very wet and muddy, and it is making it difficult for these Tooele Buffaloes infielders to come up with the ball cleanly and make plays on these bunt attempts. Three consecutive batters with bunts in this inning. Lindsey Smith with the single, McKay Conde with the bunt single, and then Amanda Mitchell reaching on the error as Jordan Bate now steps up to the plate and takes strike one. Bate 1 for 3 on the day, but a big 2 RBI double coming back in the fourth inning, and a base hit here will end this game via the run rule, as she swings and fouls that one back, bringing the count to 0-2 now. The Buffaloes 26-2-1 coming into this game, ranked number 2 in the state of Utah, and a very difficult team to beat. The Dons coming in also within a very impressive record of 25-2 after their victory earlier today, 12-0, as that pitch is upstairs, bringing the count to 1-2 now. And that pitch is a ball just upstairs to Jordan Bate. Jordan Bate has pitched a beautiful game for the Dons so far today, allowing no runs in 4 innings of work. Only allowing 3 base hits so far, all with 2 outs, and none of those situations have been threatening, as that ball is driven out to left field, and the left fielder is able to haul that one in, Amber Lujan, as runners are left on second and third here in the fifth. The Dons able to add 3 and extend their lead to 9-0 over the Buffaloes, and we'll be back in a minute here on SF-17.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
And welcome back here on SF-17, here in the top of the 6th. The Lady Dons starting to really pull away in this one. After our rain delay, it was only 4-0, but with the Dons scoring 2 in the bottom of the 5th, 2 in the bottom of the 4th, 3 more in the bottom of the 5th, have been able to extend their lead to 9-0 now as we head to the 6th inning here at Don Andrews Field here in St. George, and the sun is just beginning. Here in Spanish Fork, excuse me. We were in St. George for the baseball tournament just yesterday, so my mind is still there a little bit. And as we head now to the top of the 6th, the batter of record will be Mercy Duraika. Duraika with a strikeout in her only other plate appearance today, back in the 3rd. And that pitch is popped foul over towards us, and that will bring the count to 0-1 now on Duraika. Duraika with a beautiful play over at second base in the last inning, ranging well over to her left into foul territory on the first base side and making a catch in foul territory over her shoulder that helped the Buffaloes get out of that inning. As that pitch is fouled back, bringing the count to 0-2 now on Deraika. Jordan Bate again doing a nice job of working ahead early in the count here and getting these Buffaloes hitters in difficult situations. And that pitch is fouled off to the left-hand side over towards us, and that ball will land foul as well. And we have a shortage of softballs at the moment as the umpire goes and tries to find a couple so that we can continue this game. As the count is 0-2 after that foul ball. 3 consecutive foul balls off the bat of Deraika, all going out of play. And the umpire is able to go track down a couple as the count remains 0-2 on Deraika. And that ball is popped up to the right-hand side, and it is unable to be caught by Mitchell over at first. And the count will remain 0-2. A nice job by Deraika here, continuing to foul these balls off. As Deraika swings and lines that right off the knee of the pitcher, Jordan Bate. And she comes up limping a little bit. Very dangerous situation here in softball with the pitching circle being so close to the plate. And that ball was just an absolute shot right at Bate off her knee as it deflects into right field. And that will be a leadoff single for Deraika here in the top of the 6th. And Spanish Fork Lady Don's head coach Don Andrews and the staff and with one out here, we have a little bit of a medical situation out there on the mound as Jordan Bate is being attended to, looking at her knee, making sure that she's okay to continue pitching. And Maddie Baker will be at the plate next as she continues to jog this one off, the crowd lightly cheering as she jogs back and forth from the mound out into the right field grass. And Jordan Bate looks like she's going to be okay. They might give her a chance to throw a warm-up pitch or two as she absolutely took a shot off the bat there. As the batter there was Kylie Anderson, the pinch hitter, Mercy Deraika was pinch hit for there. And Anderson with a nice job of driving that ball up the middle. And Jordan Bate will take a few warm-up throws here to make sure that she is okay, as the coaching staff looks on. And it looks like they are going to let her stay in this game as the infielders share handshakes out there on the mound and retake their positions. And after a scary moment there, a nice base hit by Anderson, and just glad that Bates okay out there on the mound as the top of the order. And Maddie Baker step back into the plate here with a runner on first and nobody out.
Next batter, number 16, Maddie Baker.
As Baker swings on that one and misses. Baker on the year a .455 hitter with 30 hits and 17 RBIs. as she swings at the fastball up, bringing the count to 0-2. Baker so far in this game has been unable to even put the ball in play against Jordan Bates, striking out looking in both of her plate appearances in the first and third innings. And that ball is ripped out to left center field, and that ball is gone. A 2-run homer off the bat of Maddie Baker, and the Tooele Buffaloes have a little bit of life here in the top of the 6th inning.
Come out to the score stage, Maddie, after the game for a certificate for a free hot
And
dog.
Baker with an absolute blast out to left field there. Her 5th home run of the season for Baker. Definitely not one of the huge power bats on this team, but did a good job of getting a fastball up and driving that one out to left center field. See you later. It is 9-2 now. The Buffaloes getting on the board here in the 6th. And the batter now will be Brierly Avina. Avina swings through that one for strike 1.
Next batter, number 3, Brierly Avina.
Avina 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and fly out to center field. As she squares around to bunt before pulling back and taking ball 1, evening the count up at 1-1 here on Avina. Avina, a .311 hitter on the year with 19 hits and 23 RBIs. Yet to show her hitting prowess yet today as she fouls that one off down the left field line. The Buffaloes dugout chirping a little bit more now, showing a little bit more energy after scoring these 2 runs here in the top of the 6th. And that ball is ripped out to left center, and that ball will get over the glove of the left fielder Trinity Benson, and that will be a stand-up double for Brierly Avina here in the top of the 6th as the bats for the Buffaloes are finally waking up here.
Next up, number 15, Amber Lujan.
And Amber Lujan, a single back in the first, 1 for 2 on the game, now up at the plate. Three consecutive hits for the Buffaloes here in the top of the 6th. What looked like was going to be a snoozer after the Dons took a 9-0 lead and had runners on second and third, a hit away from a 10-run rule last inning. The Buffaloes bouncing back nicely here in the top of the 6th. And that is a base hit single up the middle, and another run will come in to score. Amber Lujan with her 2nd single today. And that is 3 runs now here in the inning for the Buffaloes, coming on 4 consecutive hits. A single for Anderson, a 2-run blast out to left center field off the bat of Maddie Baker, and then Avina with the double and scoring on the Lujan single there as the deficit is now cut from 9-0 to 9-3 here in the top of the 6th inning as Don Andrews, the head coach for the Lady Dons, comes out to the mound now. And he is talking with Jordan Bate, maybe trying to calm her down a little. And it looks like we will have a pitching change after 4 consecutive hits, deciding it's time to make a move here. And it looks like Briley Young will be coming into the game here with nobody out and a runner on first here in the top of the 6th. On the game, a very solid performance for Jordan Baker, giving up 3 runs. The runner on first also will be hers. Only 3 hits allowed before this inning, 4 coming in this inning, but over 5+ innings pitched, she gave up 3 earned runs, allowing 7 hits, while striking out 9 batters. And the new pitcher, Breely Young, Briley Young. Briley Young pitched in the game earlier today and pitched obviously quite well as they won that game 12-0. Pitching 5 innings of shutout baseball. Briley will be tasked with getting the final 6 outs likely in this one, as she will need 3 here in the 6th and 3 more in the 7th for the Dons to be able to stave off elimination for the second time today and advance in the losers bracket to another one tomorrow morning. And Peyton Hammond at the plate now. Hammond is 1 for 2 on the day, singled back in the 3rd but was caught stealing. Also flied out to left back in the 1st inning. And a good opportunity for her to keep this rally going as the first pitch in there for strike 1 to Hammond here, with no outs and a runner on first in the top of the 6th. As that pitch is up and away, bringing the count to 1-1 now. Cedar City and Bear River playing in the winner's bracket on the field next door to us. The loser of that game playing the winner of this one tomorrow morning. So that pitch is fouled off, bringing the count to 1-2 now on Hammond. The first game tomorrow will be at 11 a.m. here at Don Andrews Field in Spanish Fork. As that pitch is a ball upstairs and it gets over the head of Briley Rudd, the catcher. So both the pitcher and catcher, Briley Young on the mound, Briley Rudd behind the plate as the 2-2 pitch now comes to Peyton Hammond. And a swing, and that pitch is fouled back. Amber Lujan on second base here. 3 runs already across in the inning. Nobody out so far. And a pitch low and outside for ball 3. Hammond doing a nice job of working the count here. And the coach of the Buffaloes going out to talk to the umpire. And it has been resolved. And we will start back up again here with a full count and nobody out. And that pitch is swung on and fouled back as the count remains full. Briley Young in the game, facing her first batter here. As that pitch is grounded over to third base, Mallory Barber looks the runner back and makes the throw over to first base in time for the first out of the inning here in the top of the 6th. A nice play over there by Barber for the first out. And a much-needed out for this Dons team here in the top of the 6th. After 4 consecutive batters had reached base, 3 runs coming across, and Lujan standing on second. Hammond is retired as there's 1 out now as the first baseman for the Buffaloes, Emma Jackson, now steps to the plate. And the pitch is up and well over Rudd's head. The catcher, as she is unable to make the play there, as Lujan is able to move over to third again on a wild pitch. A little bit of sloppy play here by the Dons, something that we haven't seen from the catcher Rudd, as multiple balls have been able to get by her here in the 6th. And that pitch is up and away, bringing the count to 0-1 on Jackson now. And again, a pitch well upstairs will bring the count even at 1-1 now on Jackson. Excuse me, the count is 3-0 now on Emma Jackson. As that pitch is a fastball right down the middle, bringing the count to 3-1. Briley Young finally able to throw a strike there after falling behind early and struggling a little bit with control here in the early going in this one. And a swing and a miss on the changeup there brings the count full, and a nice job by Young bouncing back here on this hitter. Jackson 0 for 2 on the day with a couple of strikeouts. And that pitch is just outside as Jackson is able to draw a walk here. As Jackson is now on first, Lujan on third, and only one out here with Blake Hervat, the catcher, coming up to the plate.
Next batter, number 9.
Hervat has struggled behind the plate catching today, and also at bat hasn't been too productive as well, striking out in both of her plate appearances as she takes strike one there. Jordan Bate with 9 strikeouts today, so no surprise that lots of these hitters have multiple strikeouts coming in here in the 6th inning. As that pitch is swung on and missed on the fastball upstairs, bringing the count to 0-2. Now on Hervat. Again, Hervat in a tough hitter situation, down 0-2. And a strike 3 looking on the fastball in the low inside corner right there, and Hervat goes down swinging for the 3rd time today, and that is the 2nd out of the inning here in the top of the 6th. A big out for the Dons.
Next batter, designated player number 4, Jenna Gowans.
Jenna Gowans at the plate now with runners on first and third and 2 outs here as she swings and fouls that one off towards the right side, out of play. 0-1 now on Gowans. Jenna has a strikeout back in the 2nd inning and a single in the 5th. 1 for 2 on the day. As she takes strike 2 on the outside corner. And again, Briley Young able to work ahead of another hitter and get herself in a good pitcher's count here. And that pitch is popped up over to the right side. Aislinn Sharp going back. The right fielder coming in and making the play. A nice play out there to end the inning by Lindsey Smith. And as we head now to the bottom of the 6th, it is 9-3. Nice job by Briley Young coming in and getting out of a jam there. Only allowing 3 runs to come across as our Dons lead 9-3. And as we head now to the bottom of the 6th, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's game: the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen Wise, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, Sporting Goods for all seasons, and 2 Jacks Pizza. And in the top of the 6th inning for the Buffaloes, they were able to score 3 runs on 4 hits. They did leave 2 runners on base on first and third, but the first real offensive outburst for the Buffaloes in this game, as the Dons will now come back up to the plate looking to get those 3 runs back. And it will be the junior catcher, Briley Rudd, stepping up to the plate to lead off. Briley Rudd stepping up to the plate here to lead off this bottom of the 6th inning.
For Spanish Fort will be catcher number 10, Briley Rudd.
Briley Rudd so far today is 0 for 3. Definitely not something that you normally see from Rudd. Rudd was 1 for 3 in the game earlier today against the Thunder, with a big RBI double before Aislinn Sharp hit a massive 2-run homer to really break that game open. As that pitch is inside and almost catches Rudd as she is able to move out of the way. Rudd, a .582 hitter on the year, only 1 for 6 combined over the 2 games today. As she takes the fastball inside to bring the count to 1-1. Rudd was spectacular in the first game of this tournament, hitting 2 home runs in 1 inning in an 18-1 win over the Canyon View Falcons. as that ball is inside. The Dons were able to score 10 runs in that fourth inning against the Falcons and went on to win that game 18-1. Really set the tone for this tournament. As that pitch will catch the inside corner low for strike 2, bringing the count to 2-2 now on Rudd. That pitch is fouled up over our heads towards the other game over to our left, and that will keep the count even at 2-2 now. And that pitch is popped up over down the left field side. The left fielder coming over and making a nice play there for the first out of the inning here in the bottom of the sixth. Amber Lujan coming in.
That's one away. Next batter.
And Rudd is retired
14,
for the fourth
Sharp.
time this game. And that will bring up the junior second baseman, Aislinn Sharp. Aislinn takes ball one upstairs. Aislinn with the double coming in the last inning as a part of that 3-run rally. But the Dons were able to extend their lead, but the Buffaloes getting 3 right back in the top of the sixth. As a swing and a miss from Aislinn Sharp there. Aislinn 2 for 3 on the day, like I mentioned a moment ago. A double back in the fifth, a single in the third. She did strike out in her first plate appearance today, but she has been a force to be reckoned with in the box today. As that pitch is outside for ball 2. In the first game today, Aislinn was 3 for 3 with the home run and scored in all 3 of her plate appearances. 2 for 3 in this one, so 5 for 6 on the day, and she has been the most productive hitter in the Dons lineup in these elimination games today. She has come around to score 4 times today, once in this game, 3 in last game, as she takes that ball outside to bring the count to 3-2 now. Nice patient approach by Aislinn at the plate here. As she swings and pops that one foul over on the left-hand side, and it will land on top of the Buffaloes dugout and bounce out of play as Aislinn continues to battle up there at the plate. Atlin Johnson still continuing to battle out there on the mound as that ball is popped up over on the right-hand side. The center fielder coming in, and a nice play by Brierly Avina for the second out of the inning here in the bottom of the sixth. A fly out to left and a fly out to center to start off this bottom of the sixth. And Atlin Johnson has done a good job of bouncing back after 2 rough innings after the rain delay, giving up 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth, 3 more in the bottom of the fifth. But 2 quick outs here in the sixth as Lindsey Smith, the right fielder, now steps up to the plate. And a swing and a miss by Lindsey Smith. Smith with the bunt single last inning in a time where it seemed like everyone on this Dons team was taking advantage of the muddy conditions and laying down the bunt as she takes that one low and inside, bringing the count to 1-1. 3 consecutive batters lead down bunts for hits, or they led to errors, and all 3 runners were able to reach, which led to that big inning where 3 runs were able to come across and score against the Buffaloes. In the 1-1, a little fister over to the shortstop, and a nice play over there by Maddie Baker to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down for the Dons in the bottom of the sixth. And as we head now to the seventh, our Lady Dons lead 9-3 over the Buffaloes here on SF 17. Mustangs. They're supposed to be one of the most gentle creatures in nature.
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these. That's why more people save money by combining their home and auto with State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
And we are back here on SF-17 in this game between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Tooele Buffaloes. And our Dons are 3 outs away from advancing to a big game tomorrow against either Bear River or the other team over there on that field over there in what should be a big game. Cedar City or Bear River playing on the other field over there right now. The Lady Dons playing the loser of that one in the losers bracket tomorrow at 11 a.m. if they can get 3 more outs here in the top of the 7th. And Briley Young back out there on the mound for the Lady Dons as she attempts to get these final 3 outs.
Buffaloes, number 12, Teddy Peterson.
And Teddy Peterson, the pinch hitter for the Buffaloes here, as she fouls that one off to the left-hand side. And that is strike 2 to Peterson. Peterson quickly falling behind 0-2. Getting her first plate appearance today, pinch hitting for the right fielder McKenna Baker, who was 0 for 2 previously on the day. Deciding to give somebody else an opportunity to try to spark a rally here in the top of the 7th. And she strikes out on 3 pitches. And that is the second strikeout of the game for Briley Young. And the first out of the inning for the Lady Dons here in the top of the 7th. Big first out for the Dons as they creep closer. They win today, and only 3 teams will remain from the 16 in this 2018 state tournament as they lead off strike to the Tooele hitter at the plate. And that pitch is low for ball 1, bringing the count even at 1-1. The batter, the pinch hitter, Kaylee Anderson. Anderson pinch hit last inning and had a RBI single, and she has driven one out to left field here in a nice play out there by Trinity Benson for the second out of the inning, as the Dons are now 1 out away from finishing this one off and winning consecutive elimination games today. Earlier today, a 12-0 win over the Desert Hills Thunder in a dominant pitching performance by Briley Young, pitching 5 scoreless innings, only giving up 3 hits in that one.
Batter number 16, Maddie Baker.
And a swing and a miss to the leadoff hitter, Maddie Baker, who provided the biggest offensive outburst for this Buffaloes team today. She struck out in her first 2 plate appearances today, but her one hit was a big 2-run homer out to left center field as she fouls that one back, bringing the count to 0-2 now. The second of 4 consecutive hits last inning for the Buffaloes as they trail 9-3 here in the top of the 7th. 2 outs already in the inning as that pitch is low and inside to Baker, bringing the count to 1-2 now. The Dons a strike away from finishing this one off. And Riley Young has been absolutely impressive in her relief appearance here today. And a swing and a miss on the changeup there, and that will end this one. A 9-3 win for the Spanish Fork Lady Dons over the Tooele Buffaloes here at Don Andrews Field in Spanish Fork. And we thank you for joining us. I'm Elliot Charves, and for everyone on our fantastic Spanish Fork crew, we thank you for tuning in. And we will be back tomorrow afternoon at 11, or tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for a game between either the Bear River Bears or Cedar City. So please tune in on SF-17 tomorrow morning for what should be another good one. Again, thanks so much for tuning in. It's another Lady Dons winner, and we'll see you tomorrow.